What is happening, everyone? Luke Maguire here. Hope you are all doing well today. Let me know if you can hear me okay. Say hello in the questions. Awesome. What's up, Tim? Good to see you guys here today. Well done to everyone as well for being on today's training. I did an email out about it, as I thought everyone would remember every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern. However, the numbers show that a lot of people may have even forgot about that today, which is okay too. I also know it is getting into festive season, so we often do see a lot of people get into their festivities early, which is exciting, but it's also one of those times I find that really gives people that put in just a little bit of work and implement a little bit of work now really pays off come January and the new year and that whole new year, new me mindset that everyone has, whether it's with fitness or work or new goals, new ambitions. It's really the only time that people really sit down to focus on that. Okay, what is it that I want to do differently? What is it that I want to achieve this year different? What do I want to gain from this new year? And now you guys are in the perfect position to not only to help those people, but really by putting in a little bit of work now and throughout December, you will be ahead of the pack by tenfold. Because what often happens as well is there's people that are doing that, focusing on that new change of mindset that comes with the new year, and people that are focusing purely on the holidays and whatnot, and then they'll say, okay, after New Year's, I'm going to get started. And then what happens usually, New Year's comes around, people get pretty hungover, or they have a big night, and they say, okay, it's the first week, I'm going to start next week. And then the next week comes, and it's either still school holidays, if you've got kids or something else, and it just turns into this not really getting started, and then you put it, then you're behind the where you really could have been from the get-go, you know. So trust me, doing a little bit of work now really helps for the long term. So today, what we're going to be doing, but before I get into that, what I should say as well, though, is if you haven't jumped on this webinar live today and you are watching the replay, which I know hundreds of you do watch every single week, I will ensure that I do send more emails out to you guys reminding you of this training. But it's 10 weeks now, I think we've been doing this. So every single week, 6 p.m. Eastern, I will be here. And Mike is going to be on today's webinar as well. I can see he's just joined here as well. So I'll introduce him in a minute. Again, not introduced, I'll just welcome him on. But what I wanted to do first and foremost is make sure that everyone got their snapshot links from last week's training. I gave you guys both your agency snapshot and a proper SaaS snapshot as well. I'm going to place this down in the chat box down here for you all. And as per usual, each week I'm trying my best to get you guys a new snapshot for a new niche. All right, so let me add that down in the chat here. So again, the way we kind of went through this was I started giving you guys snapshots for different industries. So by snapshot, again, that means everything from opt-in pages, websites, funnels, email sequences, calendars, at booking forms, registration forms, all tied into the opt-in pages and all connected for you. Different sequences and flows. So whether it's a re-engagement flow, or whether it's a new client flow, or whether it's a lead ad flow that we want emails to go out instantly. We want the actual owner of the business to get notified they've got a new lead that's come in, and then maybe, and even in some of these snapshots, we've got 1 year follow-up sequences included there as well. But these take quite a bit of work to actually get done and made. But I've been trying to do one a week for you guys. Now, I held back on giving you guys your agency or your SAS snapshots, because I really wanted you guys to go in and play around with Go High Level and use to the best of your ability all the different features that you can when you get set up inside, and play around with your own potential agency site or your own SaaS site, right? So I wanted you guys to focus on that and make any mistakes inside of that, and you can still do that now, but I wanted you guys to use that as the place to really play around with things. And then I just decided that it's time to give you guys full done view snapshots for these. So they're here as well. I have updated the real estate snapshot link for you all. And then I think the week before last, I gave you guys 3 snapshots in 1 week. I think it was Med Spa, yoga, and restaurants. Today, which again, obviously put me behind because I've been trying to be ahead of the game, knowing as well that Christmas and everything's coming up. So I had a couple of weeks buffer, but for whatever reason, I decided to give them all out in 1 week, those ones. So, but that's all right. And today I'm giving you guys a life coach snapshot. So let me just quickly show you what that will look like here. And then we'll get into some cold lead training. You guys might have also noticed an email come out from me today regarding a cold lead finding tool that I thought was really, really cool. Let me go here. So let's just go into sites first. We've got 2 different templates here, funnels that are all set up for you. You can go in and play around with them, from a booking to the success of the booking page. They want to book for a consultation, and again, you can go in there, change the logos out, put your logos in, call appointment result form. It's all pretty standard stuff, but you know, keeping it simple is the goal. And literally 99% of marketing is to keep things. I think the wrong one there. Is just to keep it nice, clean, not too many buttons. There's one goal per page to get them to actually go through. But yeah, let me know how you guys have been, and even today, maybe later on, depending how long we go for, I can have a look at some of your guys' sites and examples so far. I know we've got some power users in here as well of Go High Level, so I'm excited to share some of your results. And if not today, maybe we'll do that next week. And it seems my internet's having its standard lagging issues, but again, okay, automations, new lead to call book sequences, list management, invoicing, reviews and referrals, monthly nurture automation. So you can see over a year here of nurture emails providing value in the life coach niche. It's all set up and done. Calendars are all be set up and done. Appointment bookings all set up for you. And you can play around more and more and more inside of this. Now, that's part 1. Now, part 2, well, not even part 1. That's essentially the basics that I wanted to get covered, updating you guys on where we are at. We then were talking about how it's kind of at the point now where the rubber meets the road, and we're going to start to really use a few different key methods to bring in leads for you to essentially offer people free trials of Go High Level, and then install these snapshots for their client accounts and have everything up and running instantly for them, that it would be insane for them to want to go somewhere else. Guys, this link here for your snapshots is also in the chat. Make sure that you are logged into your Go High Level account before you install these. Otherwise, it'll probably send you to some link that won't work. You need to be logged in to your account. And again, don't share these around with anyone, because they cost a lot of money to get made, and time. And the other cool thing is as well is that whenever I update anything inside of my site, I can push those updates forward to you, and you can then update certain things that I've decided to update if you choose to. So yeah, so in saying that, today we're going to be looking at cold email or cold lead. So let's just go, and don't worry, I'm going to span this up a bit here. Now, a lot of you are probably familiar with cold leads training if you've been with me for some time. We've had some products that we go out and find Instagram emails of people that wanted to be contacted via any competitor pages, followers. We've gone through how to write cold emails. For me, there's two key things that need to be mentioned when writing cold emails. Now, remember, cold leads are people. I should just define that really quickly. I'm not going to spend too long on this because I know Mike's got a presentation on this and I want him to jump into it. But just as a basic overview, cold leads are people who do not know you yet, but would be the ideal candidate for your product, service, offer, right? So there's so many different places we can get cold leads from. I'm sure Mike will go through some of those with you, and I'll go through some after as well. But the whole point is that, especially with the training that we're doing here, is we're wanting to find the decision makers. We want to find the decision makers of a business, aka the business owners in most cases, or even marketing managers. But essentially, the business owner is the one that we're going to want to talk to. Now, cold emails, there's two key ways that I like to work with anyway. Mike might have a few other ways, but two key ways to contact your cold leads, right? And again, we're skipping forward a bit here because we haven't even got the cold leads yet. But essentially, what I like to think of this is, say you're going out and say you're a business owner, and we've all got emails from people or texts or different ways we've been contacted where people are just trying to sell our business something, right? And 99% of the time, I'm sure that you've just gone, oh, this is just a spam email. Like, this person wants something from me. I don't even know who they are. Why should I even bother? And then we don't even respond to them, right? So the key thing with this is providing value fast and clearly, and along with that is creating 4 to 6 personalization points in when reaching out to any cold lead. That could be something like, and that could, yeah, I'll write an example here. This could be their name, where you found them. Say you found them on Instagram. You might share a common interest. So say they're a gym owner. You can say, hey, look, I found your page through searching through Instagram, and I see we both have a mutual interest in gyms. And then quickly explaining what you do to an extent. Say I work with gyms directly and want to offer you X for free. All right. Now, when doing cold email marketing as well, I never ever like to try to send a direct sales link instantly in a lot of cases. But when we're doing it, when we're doing such a value add, giving someone something free for 30 days, or just free in general, I'm going to be testing that when we do this, and I'm sure Mike will have some input on this as well. But initially, the first email that I like to send is essentially to create that connection, to try to provide some value, to make some personalization points, and the goal is to just get a response for me. Follow the second email, or then drop links depending on what their response is, usually. But because we're giving such a high value offer here to people, we could I'm sure there's a way we can script something out to send a direct free trial link, or even a link to a page that explains more about what it is that we want to give them for free for 30 days. So yeah, the two ways, either the personalization points, making it personal so people then want to respond, and alternatively, providing as much value as you can in a very fast way possible. And a way to do that is by creating curiosity. Say an email lands in the inbox of a business owner that we've sent out, they won't know your name or even your agency name, most likely. So their subject line is going to be key for us to create that curiosity for them to want to even open up our email. So these are all points that I've actually done full webinars on cold email marketing in the past. Now with AI, there's some really cool things we can do with that to actually have AI even write a lot of our emails, or give us very, very good templates that we can then I kind of tweak. The cool thing is, I speak with Mike, is that we're allowed to send cold emails inside of the high level. And I'm going to let Mike come on in a second and go through his cold email marketing training. But this essentially is just a great way to get your product or your even free offer in the eyes of the right people in the right niche at the right time. And it's really, really exciting. So Mike, if you're here, I'll let you jump on and say hello to everyone. I know you've been a busy guy, had a lot of things happening in your world, mate. But Mike, I appreciate you being here. If you so let me know. Otherwise,
what's up?
The man himself. How are we, Mr. Mike?
Man, doing good. Just
that's what we want.
Back in beautiful Miami. Been hitting the gym lately. Just getting the mind clear, getting dialed in, ready for the last month of the year, ready to go into the new year, coming in hot.
For those of you that don't know, Mike's got a new dog, which is apparently the most absolute chick magnet of a dog ever. And he says he's getting fit and whatnot, but I can tell you, he's getting fit for more reasons than just wanting to be healthy in the mind. And because no one gets one of these insane dogs that are just the coolest little things ever if they don't want to become the king of Miami. And with Mike's humbleness, I think Miami needs a bit of that. So
he needed to be adopted. He had a home and they were going to get rid of him. So I just I didn't know what to do. I had to take the cuteness on.
And if it wasn't Mike and someone told me that story and it was this dog, I would say that didn't happen. But
you wouldn't believe
Mike,
it.
No, you wouldn't. No, I wouldn't believe it, especially just because how cool this dog is. And you would think that no one would ever give up this dog. And it's you're just a good-hearted guy. And it's just that saying, but do good things come to you. And although in Miami, like we were saying the other week, I guess for some, depending on some places people frequent or just go to in Miami, that I'm sure bad things can come to someone in Miami as well, unless you're good at sifting through and making sure that what's good and what's not.
Yeah, you got to be a master sifter.
Yeah, that's right.
Master sifter in life.
What kind of dog, Jennifer said before we get into it?
It's a golden doodle. It's like a darker brown golden doodle, or like reddish brown, but it's 3/4 poodle and 1/4 golden retriever. But it's a mini, so he just is about to turn 7 months, but he's full size, so he's like 22 pounds.
That's so cool. He's
cute, he looks like a Build-A-Bear. His face is something else.
Oh, that's so cute. Did you see did you hear that little intro about what I said then about kind of today's plan about cold leads and things? Oh, okay, cool. So I'll let you take
I've been
over.
locked in, following along. I'm taking notes.
Oh, you're a good man. Well, mate, I'll let you take over and share whatever you want to share first, because I think a few things I've seen in emails and stuff is, okay, like when it comes to cold leads, what's the best way of setting it up? How do we actually contact them? And where do we find them? And other things I know you've mastered in the past. And I think we've done no training on how to actually use the campaigns inside of Go High Level or even Twilio or anything yet, because I guess we're trying to not focus on the features so much yet, and we were really just trying to focus on the benefits of using this as a whole, and then hopefully teaching and learning on some of those features in there. But I know you've always got a plan. You always explain things really well. So however you want to do it, we can do it today, and then we can make a plan for next week on anything that we don't cover.
Awesome. Sounds good.
I'll give you the screen.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and kick it off. I'll share my screen as well.
Give me a second.
But how's it going, everybody? Hope y'all are doing great. Rocking out this, I guess it's Wednesday evening for me, but everybody's all over the world. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm excited to be here just because I've been, like Luke said, lot's been going on for me personally and in business and different things. And I think when you kind of get hit by a tornado sometimes, then it really kind of sharpens up where we need to be. And so want to kind of share some of those things with you, both from like a tactical perspective or just from a mindset perspective, kind of rounding out this year and going into the new year, and really just achieving our highest goals. And then I want to get into some more tactical stuff as far as specifically in high level, and how you guys can go ahead and go after cold email and that sort of thing. So so let me go ahead and get my screen connected here first. I'm going to do that. Should just take me a second here. And
while you're doing that, it's crazy. A conversation I've had with a lot of people recently, where I've just been, whether it's in the building that I live or even at the coffee shops and stuff, people will ask me like, where's the best place to advertise? Where's the best place to do this? And I always say that, like trends will always change, but the thing that I found that's always been most consistent, and you guys would all know because I encourage this all the time, is to really focus on getting email marketing as a priority, as one of your main, if not main, traffic source methods, not just for getting new leads, but for really nurturing a list and making sure your audience is always contacted. And I recommend doing this to your clients as well, because the number, and I see this happen, I'm sure this will happen forever on social media, people are always obsessed with getting new fans, new followers, and they'll even run their entire ads budgets trying to get new fans and new followers, but they're never focused on, or if they do, it's definitely not to the same intensity, on the followers that they have, the ones that have converted across, the ones that you have got their emails of. Never focused on, or really focused on providing more value and building that warmer list up to really become essentially a family with the businesses that you're going to be working with, and having those leads there is just such a powerful thing. So that's something we'll talk about later, was when you work with these local businesses, they'll already have a big list of customers and audiences and whatnot, and it's so much easier to convert into a sale for that business. Now for us, if you're just starting this agency, if you are running lead ads and whatnot, and you're building a following on different social pages, just keep that in mind. Now the second point on that is that because trends do change, like right now TikTok, as we've been sharing, is just one of the cheapest way to get traffic. It's insane, but that's going to change one day, and I don't want you guys to be stuck in a position where you've spent all this money on different ads and getting followers and whatnot, but haven't built an email list, because that's the one thing you actually have control of. If you have an email list, you truly will own your business. And if you depend purely on Facebook or on Instagram or on LinkedIn or on TikTok or any of these platforms, that could change something overnight, and your business can go to nothing. I've seen it happen so many times. I see it happen all the time with influencers that reach out to me. They have hundreds of thousands of followers, and then their accounts get deleted, and they've had zero other way to reach out to their audience. So they don't really own their business. Instagram does. So that's just the other point I wanted to make here. Now, today we're going to be talking about cold email marketing or cold marketing to cold leads. And I'm not saying get a big list of cold leads and then constantly hound them. I'm actually going to say the opposite regarding that. But just a point that came into my head then is email marketing. It does not only still work, it thrives, and it's just about creating that audience, whether you're doing it for your clients, businesses for their customers, or if you're building an audience around local marketing, and you start to get a following, always have that provide value first mentality, and look after those that have shown any interest in your company and business first, and then look at adding new leads and new followers as an equal. They should be both 50-50 in my mind. You should be caring about your own audience as well as wanting to grow your audience as well. So just a quick point on that.
Nice. Appreciate you, Luke. Yeah, and I 100% agree. It actually made me think. I have somebody staying with me right now in Miami. His name's Sam. I might even have him jump on here later. But Sam's a good buddy of mine. We became friends because I was at the SLS in Vegas, and he stopped me in the hallway and he's like, "Hey, Mike, are you Michael Crouch?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "I watched your video on Facebook lead ads." This is like Ty Lopez, 2000. What year was that, Sam? 2017. And he's like, "I just watched your course on lead ads, and I made, $28,000 or something like that, $28,000 in 2 weeks, doing the strategy that was in your video, and it was about a 45-minute video." And Sam and I were joking. He's been in town for like the last 4 or 5 days just visiting, because we became friends from that. But that was like literally how we met, was in the hallway of SLS, and connected through a Ty Lopez video that I'd done that was a 45-minute video on the original SMMA. And fast forward to today, from 2017 to 2023, and we're still doing the same thing. And Sam's gone on to make 50, 100,000 a month, consistently with his agency. And we look at like the strategies we're doing. I mean, we're doing other things. We're doing SEO, and there's other parts of the story, but the main part of the story is still getting lead ads, using Zapier or a Zapier equivalent, which is High Level has that built in now, and basically pushing those leads to a nurturing source. So in the beginning, when we were doing it in like 2017, we were taking the lead from a Facebook lead ad. Now at that time, there wasn't TikTok lead ads, there wasn't LinkedIn lead ads, there wasn't really even Instagram lead ads back then. So it was only Facebook, and we were pushing them to through a Zap. We were going to an email autoresponder. I think we were using MailChimp at the time. And then we were sending them to a spreadsheet so that the owner of the business could have like a list of all the names and phone numbers, and then they could like call them back. And then from there, we added like a text message. That was a separate Zap, separate software, separate login and password. But we look at where it's gone to today, and it's still the same. It's like, when you have that in the world of technology, like you have something valuable, right? Because we know in technology, like things change every 5 minutes. Like a year in technology world is like a decade in the normal world. So the fact that we've been doing things for the past, doing the same stuff for the past 6 years is, remarkable. It's the same thing. But I want to kind of switch gears for a second, and I want to talk to you guys about some principles of kind of how to move going into the end of this year and going into the new year, and how we can use some of this. And I'm going to talk to you guys about very tactical. Like the thing about that video, and what I've always believed about training videos, is that you should be able to break down a subject into its simplicity in under an hour and be able to go make money with that strategy independently of anything else that you're learning, right? So that video that Sam watched back in 2017, which is the same exact thing that we're teaching today, we're literally just teaching a more dynamic version of it, was something that he learned on one 45-minute video. Like that was it. He took that 45 minutes. This is how to do it from start to finish. Sam, are you taking off? All right, you want to say hi to everybody? We're just doing a training here, but you got to go. All right, man. Tell everybody hello. Hey, everybody, how's it going? Sam's going to the airport. All right, man.
Enjoy your flight, brother.
Thanks, brother. See you, bro. All right, man. I got one friend leaving today. I got another friend coming tomorrow. Everybody wants to come to Miami.
I just want to see you, bro.
What's that?
They just want to see you no matter where you are. That's why they're coming.
Man, I don't know. I think it might be these. See you, buddy. So anyway, so it's the same thing. And so what I wanted to kind of talk to you guys about is, thought, speech, and action is kind of like how we get our ideas, right? It starts as a thought, then it goes into us talking about it, and then it goes into action. And this even goes back into I was in a course yesterday. I grew up Christian, but I really like learning about different religions and kind of even like learning about Judaism and the Old Testament. And so they have a little Jewish youth center over by my house, and so I dove into a Kabbalah class, which is like Jewish mysticism. And it was really cool. Like I like to kind of draw things from, different areas of life, keep myself, and I kind of look at Judaism as like even part of Christianity because it's like the Old Testament. But regardless of if you're, religious or spiritual or not, I feel like a lot of these stuffs, we can gain a lot of good moral and kind of idealistic teachings. And one of the things they talk about is this idea of thought, speech, and action, and how action is like the last touching point where like when we're getting kind of our divine downloads and we're, coming up with different ideas and things like that, like the very last place that it ultimately really comes out at is action, right? And that's what people have a lot of problems with. And the thing that really hit home for me today is like respect. If you respect yourself, you're going to keep your word on the actions that you're going to do. That is like the greatest form of self-respect, is that you're just going to push through your actions of what you say you're going to do, regardless of what you get hit with. I got hit with a couple of tsunamis this last week, but it's like, can you take that wave on the head and keep on surfing, keep on paddling, get up on the next wave, right? And so we show our self-respect to ourselves through action. And a lot of people, I think, crave to be liked more than they do to be respected. And if they want to get respect, they go around and they try to, gain respect by, brown nosing or, trying to, just get in the right circles and say the right things. But ultimately, like, that's not how you gain respect. Like, and you'll lose that respect will be fleeting. The actual respect that sticks is if you respect yourself, and the way that you respect yourself is through your actions, then everyone else will respect you by default, right? So if you have true self-respect that is built through actions, then everyone else will respect you by default, right? And so the moral of the story here is that you got to go out every single fucking day and literally do what you say you're going to do, have the actions every day, so that you're building that, and so that at the end of a month or at the end of 2 months, like at the end of the month is the end of the year, right? It's like the end of December is the end of the year. So if you haven't lived up to your goals by this point in the year, it's like at least take this last 30 days and keep riding it. But it's, put it on paper, not on paper, but like put it in action every single day. So at the end of 30 days, you literally have a stack of undeniable proof that you are who the hell you say you are, and that you're doing what you say you're going to do. And that respect, that's the ultimate respect for yourself, and that's the respect you're going to get for others. And so this stuff that we're going to teach you, and I'm going to break this down, is like, this stuff has worked, like I said, for the last 6 years. This stuff works, right? But there's always going to be a majority of the people that don't follow through on it. And it just comes down to action, right? It's like, even if you're not the best at it, guess what? If you get 1% better every single day, or 0.5% better every single day, that compounds. That's compounding interest, right? And you get to be 10x the human you were very quickly, right? If you're growing 1% compound every day, I mean, it's literally, months, not even years, before you are a completely different human, right? Just getting a little bit better every day. But just know that it's the thought that goes to the speech that goes to the action, right? But you have to see it all the way through. And ultimately, your guys are going to have to do this stuff on a day-to-day basis, right? Because Luke's been in this a long time. I've been in this a long time. And for me, honestly, I don't really like even talking about motivational type of stuff so much, just because I feel like there's so much of it out there. But I just felt the need to kind of talk about this one point, because I feel like that's the difference maker. Like the biggest problem in this world right now that I could see in this entrepreneurship world is people not following through on the actions, right? It's like they want the respect or they want to be liked, but they want to do that by chasing it around and trying to be liked by everybody. And they don't understand that if they have self-respect, which is done by following through on the actions that you're going to do for yourself, that by default, you're going to gain the respect and you're going to gain an undeniable stack of proof that you are who you say you are, right? And you don't really want anybody to be able to poke a hole in anything. I mean, that's why, like, even lately, I've just been so heavy in like my eating good and the gym and working and trying to hit all the points, because at the end of the day, if you're teaching people, they want to see a chink in your armor, right? It's like we want an excuse for someone that's telling us what to do to be, oh man, they're fat, or they're lazy in this part of their life, so I'm not going to listen to them, right? So it's like, for me, I want to be so that if someone looks at me, like, they're going to see that I'm pushing every area of my life, right? And so, like, I want that for you guys as well, because ultimately it is the minority of percentage of people that actually follow through on this stuff and are able to make top 1% level income working at home. And you can just go so far with this stuff if you understand that you just have to get 1% better every single day, and ultimately you're going to make it, right? It's the last thing I'll say on this is like, it's like the baseball player mentality, right? It's like, if you're batting 300, you're missing 70% of the times that you're at bat, right? You're missing 90% plus of the balls, but those numbers are going to get you to the Hall of Fame, right? So it's the same thing with this. It's like, if you're not where you want to be, that's fine. If you just get a small percentage better every day and you literally just stay consistent with your actions, not your thoughts, not your words, but your actions, that those numbers compound and ultimately you're going to win, right? But it's this longer game. Same thing with the gym, right? You're not going to go to the gym, work out, look in the mirror 2 days later, and you're, looking like an action figure. It's going to take a little bit. So, same thing with this. It's like, you have to have faith in the process. And so the action is what I really feel is lacking from, people that just don't make it. Is like, they get the thoughts, they get the dreams, they talk about it, they have speech about it, but they ultimately don't put it into action, right? And action is, like I said, even in, old like Jewish philosophy from, thousands of years ago, they believe that actions are that last touching point to this world that we're in, right? This realm that we are, like, moving around the video game. And so have those actions. I like to think of myself as like a video game player. And it's like, for those of you that are like into astrology, it's like your stars, or whoever you are, like, you're born and you're this like unique being, right? And a lot of people that don't like astrology don't like it because they're like, oh, I don't want to be, I don't want the stars to define me, right? But a lot of times, well, not even a lot of times, that's not even what it's about, right? That's just how you start the video game, right? It's like your being, how you come to Earth, or how the stars were aligned, or whatever you believe in, however you want to call it. That's just how you start the game, right? Then how you progress through life, how you use your free will, the people you're around, your parents, the things you overcome, the friends you're around, the business, the coworkers you're around, what you choose to accomplish. That's you moving around the game and getting the hearts and the stars and the coins and the different swords and the different shields and the different colored potions. Like, that's our job, right? And so we all get put on this world with unique talents and unique abilities and unique challenges and all this kind of stuff. But ultimately, it's like our job every day to move around the video game and to build the player that we want. If we want to collect stars, collect stars. If we want to collect hearts, coins, if we want to get the new sword or the new shield or the purple potion or whatever it is, that's up to us, right? But all of that happens through action, right? All of that happens through actually moving around the game of life and taking action in the right places. So I know that, and I'm going to dive into this training and get into some more skill set stuff. Actually, one of the reasons we're even kind of killing a tiny bit of time is one of the timing wise, one of the lead sources we use is actually down for maintenance, and it's been saying that it's approximately 10 minutes for more than 10 minutes. So if we can't actually dive in, it's called D7 Lead Finder, then I'm going to kind of just walk you through it without having to necessarily actually get into the software. And Luke and I are talking about doing, more of an in-depth agency training. I know for me, like one of my goals is I really want to empower a lot more people to actually be able to, break out of the matrix, so to speak, and have their own business and be able to make money passively. And so Luke and I are talking about doing some further stuff as far as like with agency masterminds and things like that. But here's the thing. There's a lot of value to spending a long amount of time with somebody and going through a mastermind and really diving deep. Like if someone spends a couple months with me, a couple weeks with me, like I'm going to change their life, like just period. It's going to happen because I just have too many years in the game. Like I've been nonstop on tech software for the last 15 years, and I've had a lot of big wins, and I've also had enough losses where like I know the difference, and I can just, someone that's new to the game, it's gonna change them, forever if they spend that kind of time with me. That being said, these sort of trainings, like what I'm going to show you here, is a training in a box where you guys are going to be able to run with this and make money with it just with what you're seeing right here, right? And every training should be like that. I mean, that's just how I see it. Like every training should be its own little 30, 45-minute thing where you're able to literally just take it and run with it. And so let's just go ahead and dive in. The site is still down, but I'm going to go ahead and just we're just going to dive into it on the whiteboard. And then if it does pop up while we're on the training, great. If not, then we're going to,
While you do that, I just had a look here. It seems to be up for me. I don't know. I haven't logged in, but I'm just on the homepage of it. I didn't know if that was worth.
The homepage is good. It's when you actually log in, it says it's down for maintenance.
Yeah, gotcha. All right, all good.
Yeah, but
there's some random screenshots and stuff on their homepage. I don't know if that's easier, or you can just share it on like this way too, and then
yeah. Well, let me. I'll bring up the main page just so you guys can at least see the site, and then we can't log in right this second because it's down for maintenance, but you can at least kind of see what it looks like. All right, so this is one of the biggest sites that we use. You can see here they have a Black Friday special going on even, so you can see they got a little code up there, 40% off, view the plans. So now would be a great time to jump on board. We don't have an affiliate code for these guys or anything, so this is just something that we use. This is something that Sam, my buddy who just left, he has used tremendously over the last. I mean, this is just like a go-to. It's like this is kind of like an in the know kind of thing. It's one of those things where if you get it, you get it, and you're going to make a lot of money. And if you don't get it, then you usually forget it, and then you end up going to places like ads and other things to try to get leads, and you end up missing out on probably not even probably, I would say like the cheapest pound for pound source of income is going to be cold email. So the thing is here is that when you buy data, like I do a lot of data through a company called Data Axle. So you can go check out Data Axle if you want to kind of see. I'll even open them up here. If you're interested in like leads, a lot of times you'll go to this company. This is like one of the biggest data companies there is. I'll show it to you. But like when you go through Data Axle as an example, for emails and things like that, you're gonna spend like close to $1 a lead. So when you're talking about pulling like with D7 Lead Finder, when you go on here and you use it correctly, I mean, with this, let's see, with this discount here, they're giving you 40% off. So the professional looks like $119 a month. So if you're able to put that code in and get 40% off of that, you're going to spend like, you know, let's say $70 a month, something like that. And you're going to be able to pull about, let's just say on average, like 50,000 emails a day. Let's even say 40,000 emails a day. If you were getting those through Data Axle, you'd be spending like $1 a lead. Like that's just the cost of data. I mean, if you had a really, really, really good deal on it, you might be able to get it down to like 50 cents, 40 cents. But still, think about it. If you're getting it even at 25 cents, right? And you're getting 40,000 emails a day, that means you're getting $10,000 worth of emails every single day. Take that times 30 days if you're doing it every day, and you're getting $300,000 worth of emails. And here you're paying like $100 a month to get that. So now, that being said, these emails are going to be business emails generally. So a lot of times if you do Data Axle and do some different things, you sometimes can get personal emails and maybe the email quality goes up a little bit. But when you're talking about the difference between like $80 a month versus like $30,000 if you were just buying the raw data, and I do this, like I am really deep in the data game, like Luke knows, like I get data from Data Axle for cheaper than anybody on planet Earth, right? And I still pay like 5 to 7 cents, right? So it's like even at the and I'm doing super volume, right? So even at that rate, if you're pulling 40,000, right, and you're at 5 cents, I mean, you're still talking about a couple grand worth a day at the lowest rate possible, times 30 days, you're still talking about, you know, $60,000 worth of data that you're paying like $80 for, right? So it's like, no matter how you slice it, whether you're paying, you know, maybe I'm just doing the math right. I mean, I'm even just looking at how much I get it for, because I mean, no one on planet Earth gets data as cheap as I do. Well, maybe not planet Earth, but very few people. So times 40,000. So yeah, even at my rate, you're talking 2,000 a day times 30. Yes, so 60,000. Yeah, my math was right. So, you know, here you're paying $80. Now, granted, this is a shared source. There's other people using it, other people making money, but you can see really, really quickly where the numbers just make sense, right? It's like if you're hitting this list correctly and you're pulling these every single day, like you are going to make, it's going to be like extraordinarily hard for you to not make money, right? Because essentially the way this works, and I'll try to log in here, but I don't think it's going to work, but we'll just give it a whirl. Yeah, see, it said this down for maintenance for 10 minutes, but apparently their watch is broken. So I'll tell you how this works though. I mean, it's very simple in, you know, how this works. And so the thing I kind of want to talk more about here is like, if you guys can just like get to the basic points here, right, is essentially, you know, you got these like building blocks, right? You have these different things that make a business, right? And as time has gone on, these things have gotten to be condensed. Like one of the things that Luke just provided that is very unique, and it just really can't be understated, is snapshots, right? We'll just call them snaps. So snaps, again, this is, we're saying a word, like think about how arbitrary this is. It's like we're saying a word, we're like, yeah, man, we got snaps on high level. And it's like, oh, cool, man, you got snaps, sweet. Like, what the heck is that? And it's like, well, when we really unpackage it, we're talking about 15 plus apps that we have that we can customize, everything from texting to emailing to Facebook Messenger to funnels to trigger sequences, CRM, like literally everything that a real business actually needs. This becomes the copy button, right? This is literally the Xerox copy button. So this is something very unique, very new, right? So now we have the Xerox copy button where, let's say our snaps in here are all worth 10K each. So we know that anytime we press this button and we press the Xerox copy button, we can print 10K worth of value to the clients that we're reaching out to, right? So we know we have this ability, okay? So now, how do we want to reach these people? We talked about Facebook. Now, Facebook is a great source. Like I said, Facebook got rid of business targeting for several months. You could not just target chiropractors. You could not just target, lawyers or doctors. They took it away. It was gone. It's like one of those things. Like Facebook says, okay, it's here. Now it's gone. And guess what? Now it's been back for not that long, a few months, right? So it's like there's an opportunity right now for you to jump in and use Facebook, right? But Facebook is expensive. You're going to spend quite a bit of money per lead. TikTok, Facebook, you're going to spend, let's say, for a professional lead, somewhere between 10 to 20 bucks plus, right? Each. With email, it's much cheaper than that. So with email, you can go in, you can send out, let's say, 40, or we'll even say, start slow, and we'll say, 5,000 emails a day, and you can shoot to have 1% of those interact with you, and then a percentage of those that you actually talk to, right? Maybe you talk to 20% of the ones that interact. So now all of a sudden you got 10 leads, right? And you're doing that, let's say, in a day where, if you were paying 10, 20 bucks for that, now all of a sudden you're paying $100 to $200 is what that would cost you in Facebook marketing terms. Probably more, really. This is like, I would say, super conservative. And with email, it costs you a fraction of that, right? You can send out all these emails and it might cost you 10 bucks, right, to get the same amount of leads, right? So it's one of those things where it's much, much more cost effective. Now, for you guys, it's really easy to think about this in the terms of you want several buckets that are going to feed into your nurturing system, right? Because you need two things, right? If you want to make sales, you guys probably remember this from the first training. If you want to make sales, then what two things do you need to drive sales? What are the number one and number two driver of sales that hasn't changed in over 100 years, right? There's two drivers of sales that hasn't changed in 100 years. And that's going to be quality leads and nurturing, right? So that hasn't changed in 100 years, right? It's always been like that. That's the driver of sales. You need a lead source and you need to put those, and you need to nurture those leads, right? Well, now these are platforms online, right? This is Facebook and, Instagram, and we're talking about cold email today, and every place that we can get leads from falls into this, right? And then we need to nurture them, right? And these are all of our communication channels, right? This is going to be email, text, phone, messenger, etc., right? So this is the simplistic version of it, right? If we could get, there was companies when Facebook ads came out. I was in San Francisco. I'm pretty young at the time. I was doing well. I had a business inside all the sports stadiums up in the Bay. I was probably like 25-ish, and I was making over $100,000 a month consistently in net profit. So, and I was going to sporting events for a living. So I was, basically a billionaire in little kid terms. And, as a 25-year-old, and I'm in the Bay at the time, I'm in San Francisco, and there's people there that are building apps on iPhone. This is like right when iPhone came out, like 2008, when the first iPhone was out. And I'm living in San Francisco, and there's people building apps that are doing 30, $40 million a year, and they're just running Facebook ads only. It's the only thing they're doing. They're not doing anything else. They're just making 40 million a year, and the only quality lead source they have is Facebook. That's it, right? So do you need to have multiple sources of leads? No, not necessarily. If you had one guy who was just a master of standing on the side of the road and could just reel you in people all day long because he was just the smoothest talker in the world, then technically that guy on the corner could be your only lead source if he was good enough, you know, or whatever. But ultimately, we give ourselves a better shot if we have more options, right? If we have more ways that we can get quality leads in, it just gives us more swings at the bat. It gives us more opportunity. Okay. So, like a dog just barking outside. So with cold email, this is one of those things where it goes into this bucket, right? And if we can master this sequence, it's not rocket science, right? It's like there's only so many moving parts to kind of make this process happen, right? And by you know, essentially mastering cold email, you're going to be able to bring in leads for, you know, generally the cheapest that you're going to find. So the thing that makes D7 Lead Finder really, really appealing, and I'm going to try one more time to see if it's going to open up here. So let's see. But no, it's still under maintenance. So we're going to kind of walk through it on here. So with email, with cold email, we have a couple things we need to do, right? And again, like I want to break this particular training down, just how Facebook, let me put my, just how Facebook could be like your only lead source. Email can be the same way. Like if you're kind of a little bit more on a budget and you want to really just like get in the game, you don't want to spend too much money on like ads and stuff like that, email marketing can absolutely be that singular marketing source for you. That's the cool thing about it, right? And that's why this training is really important, because if you're looking for that cost-effective way to get in the game and kind of like break into making your first $1,000 or $5,000, $10,000 a month or whatever it is, email can be great. And Sam, who is just here, who left, is a great testimony to that, because I would hit him up over the years. And I'd be like, hey, how's it going? How's the agency going? And he's like, oh, you know, we're doing good. We're like 80,000 a month, or, you know, 70,000 a month, or whatever the number was. And I'd be like, oh man, that's great. Like, where are you getting your leads from? And like, without fail, he would always be saying cold email and referrals. Like those two things were like the thing that came out of his mouth like 90% of the time. And he was consistently always hitting over 50K a month. And so think about that. If you're on a budget, you know, and you want to kind of get your agency off the ground, you can have this combination of cold email plus referrals, right? And this is kind of like one of the best ways that you can really grow a business is by doing this. So to do it on to do this on D7 Lead Finder, what you're going to do, and you guys will be able to play around with this, but the way they do this is they make it so that you can do 100 searches per day. Okay, and I kind of already broke down the numbers for you as far as what this data would normally cost, right? There's these other data providers out there where you're going to just pay so much more for the data, right? So D7 is like this entry-level way that we can really, you know, get access to this data for like pennies on the dollar. Now, what is 100 searches per day? 100 searches per day is going to be a profession plus a city, okay? So what you're gonna do is you're going to be able to do what's called a bulk search. This is what you're gonna look for on there. You're gonna do bulk search, and you're gonna type in whatever your niche is that you wanna go after. Let's say it's chiropractor. You're gonna type that in, and then there's gonna be a place for you to list the cities, right? And you can use ChatGPT for this. Let me actually show you guys this because this is really, really, really cool. But you can do 100 cities a day. So what I suggest you guys do if you're going to do D7 Lead Finder is you go ahead and run it every single day because they reset it every day, right? So it's one of those things where you want to come in every day and and run something because they're going to reset it every 24 hours. All right. All right, so let me share my screen here. Put a 1 in the chat if you are using ChatGPT, and put a 2 in the chat if you're not. 1 if you're using ChatGPT, 2 if you're not. 1 if you're using it, 2 if you're not. Let's see what we got. We got 2 1s, and everybody else, we got 1 2, we got another 1. Keep an eye on everybody who's not putting their numbers in here. I'm gonna put you down on the naughty list for Christmas. Get that participant. I'm just kidding. But all right, so we got 3 1s and 2. All right, so here we go. So basically, if you're going to be doing anything online and you're not using ChatGPT, there's a problem. Or a ChatGPT competitor of some sort, because this thing just does way too much stuff, and it's like 20 bucks a month or whatever it is. It's like insane. Or you can get the free version, I think. But anyway, this is where you're going to want to like write your emails, basically, right? I mean, this thing is going to be able to do it all. Like you can literally come in here and say, I am selling, Facebook marketing services. Please, write me a short, cold email, right? I mean, this is the simple stuff if you guys haven't used this, but it's, they're going to give you the subject, they're going to give you this, and then it's, you can talk to it. So if you read part of it and it's, like this, I told them to be short. This looks way too long. So, I could literally just be like, make this much shorter and more we'll say more informal and persuasive. So you just literally talk to this thing and it just, it's like, absolutely, let me whip that up for you, right? So it's like all of your emails or anything, not that you have to like copy this, but it just gives you so much ideas, right? And it's just, why would you ever want to sit there and do this manually if this now exists on the planet? Like, this is just ridiculous. So anyway, if you're not using this, 100% you should be using this. The other thing is you can do things that you couldn't normally do with a search engine. So like one thing is an example. So for D7 Lead Finder, you have to have the city and the state in a specific order. It has to be like, city. Let me see if I can find it here so I can show you guys. Well, actually, I'll pull it up here. Hold on. Top cities, top one. Okay, so let me just show you this screen real quick. So when you enter this into when you're using D7 to pull these, again, you can pull 100 cities a day. you have to have it in a certain format, right? So I'm gonna bring up my notes tab here. You can see it. It has to be in this format right here. See how I have these cities listed like this? So, and I have like the top 1,000 cities, right? So it has to be listed in this format. Now, if you didn't have ChatGPT, how would you get the top 1,000 cities listed in this format? If you didn't have ChatGPT, how could you get the top 1,000 cities listed just like this? The answer is you couldn't. It would be super annoying. Like you'd have to go to Google search. You'd have to open up a search and be like, give me the top, 1,000 cities, right? And you're gonna search all over, and I'm telling you, because I've done this already, but it's not gonna be in the format where you can copy and paste it. Like this is gonna give you some extra numbers. You're gonna have to figure out how to get rid of those. You're gonna come to this one. It's gonna be really weird looking, and these are gonna be top in the world. So maybe I put the wrong, yeah, so top cities in US. Anyway, you're gonna literally sit here for like 30 minutes or an hour, and you're gonna look at a bunch of different pages, and they're all gonna be wrong, and none of them are gonna work, and you're gonna have to figure out a way to basically do it manually because all of these are gonna waste your time, right? So magically introducing, boom, ChatGPT. We can literally say list the top, and it's going to tell me no when I do this, but I just want to show you this so you can understand what it looks like. List the top 1,000 cities in America and list them in this type of, or list them in this format. And we'll say like New York. There we go. Maybe put a little colon. I mean, this thing is so smart. So you literally go in there, you do that, and it's going to tell me no, but I'm going to show you why I did it like this. Or maybe it won't. Let's see. We'll see what it does. It's searching the top 1,000 with Bing. Here we go. Dun, dun, dun. All right, so see, it kind of gave me not the answer I was looking for. So list, so now what I'm gonna do is list the top 200 as an example. No, please just list the top cities. This is actually new that they're doing this thing with Bing. Oh, because they did the partnership with Microsoft. I don't know about this, Luke. I don't know if this is an upgrade.
It's this is another example of something that they'll add something in one day. You think it's sick, and then a week or two later they pull out features. So
I mean, it's still gonna work. It's just funny though, because they're, you can tell Microsoft got its hand in there. They're like searching Bing. They're like giving a little plug on there. They're like, hey, just so you know, we got Bing on here now. We put some money into this. We're gonna get our little advertising.
Yeah. I was using a cool plugin the other day. It was the new plugin with for CapCut. I don't know if you ever use CapCut. It's like a really good video editing type app, but they now it now works with ChatGPT. So you can say, make me a video about 60 seconds in this type of framework, and it'll go get the video. It'll go create you the video, the voice, the script, the voiceover. It'll pull images or generate AI images and make you a full everything all for free. So it's really good for content.
But the point here, and the reason I even said in the beginning, as I said, it's not going to do it, is because you have to find what it will do. And so this is what some things people don't understand about the AI. And obviously a lot of changes are happening. You saw, I'm sure, ChatGPT in the news and all this stuff, but in America by population. You just have to talk to this thing and get it to essentially ultimately do what you want, but it takes a conversation. And so that's why I specifically put in 1,000 in the beginning, because I knew it wasn't going to do it. Just so you can kind of see an active representation of like what you have to do. It's like you got to sit here and kind of talk to them. There we go, boom. So now it's working. Now, if I wanted it, so I want it in the state form because I think that's how they list it. So I'm going to say stop, boom. I'll actually just hit the stop button. Boop. And then I'll say list the state as 2-letter acronym, right? So now this might seem a little bit annoying, but compared to Google, this is 1,000 times faster, right? Because on Google, we would have been sitting right there on Google trying to find. See, and now it does it right. So now we're on to something, right? So it's like we had to talk to it a little bit, but now it's giving us what we need. This is literally exactly what we need for using D7 Lead Finder effectively, and this is what a lot of people aren't doing, and this is why you can be able to super take advantage of this data source, because people aren't doing this, right? Because if you want to go find this on Google, you couldn't find this. You could find the top 100 cities, but once you get into like the top 1,000, none of them formatted correctly. You would be searching around Google for hours and you wouldn't find it. You know, and then you're gonna be on there paying for lists. I was on there for a second. It was like asking me to pay for lists. I'm like, wait, am I gonna buy this list just so I can see if it's formatted correctly? Like, it's not good. So then here, boom, now we got it. And then what do? We can come here and we can be like, list the next 100, right? This whole we're doing research with Bing here is wild. But again, what's up?
I was just gonna say, I reckon it's already done the search. They're just plugging in the Bing for every person's search. So everyone has to see the word Bing. It's a marketing thing.
Yeah, this is for sure marketing. Yeah, this is like marketing 101. It's like we're checking in with Bing. It's like, wait, ChatGPT was working a lot better before when it wasn't checking in with Bing. Mm-hmm. But anywho, this should work. Oh, we're going into the world populationreview.com. This is very interesting. The funny thing is before it did all this before, it was way faster. See, that's what happens, man. You get capitalism involved and they take something that was good, it was working perfect, and they just had to throw a Bing advertisement on it just so Mr. Gates could get his exposure. All right, well,
I've done it here for Australia anyway, and all I wrote was, for the first one, I wrote list the top Australian cities in this format, and then I put it in abbreviated commas, and then I said list the next 100 in this format, and it's done it here. So it's it's probably just playing around with the right words. And I don't even have any Bing searching on mine here yet, so I'm hopeful maybe they're
hopefully it hasn't hit Australia yet, man. This ain't. Yeah. This is a downgrade.
Mm-hmm.
List the next 100. Come on, ChatGPT. Here we go. Boom. Okay, but then, and then same kind of thing here, right? And then we could say, you know,
there you
start this one at 101. You know, just like little things if you want to like do this along the way, like just knowing that it's like it's starting to list 101 now, but it put it as 1. So I stop it and then I restart it, and then now it should only thing I don't like about ChatGPT, but it's a make the list number start at 101, not 1. Yeah. You know, so if you're a little bit OCD like myself, still don't work. So anyway, you're gonna have to copy and paste this stuff. This thing, you know, obviously is still slightly artificially unintelligent, But at the end of the day, you're going to be copying these and putting these into a thing. What I'm trying to kind of give you guys an example of, though, and the reason I'm taking the time to sit there and like put in something else is that this is the nature of how ChatGPT works right now, right? It takes a second. Like if you go back to what we searched here, you know, originally it's like, give us the top 1,000, list it like this. And they basically tell you no. Then you say list top 200. It basically tells you no, or it tells you some freaking story about some crazy thing here. And then you're like, no, please just list the top cities. And then I'm like, here, list the top 100. Okay, boom. Now we get the top 100. Now I say list the next 100. Well, that was the first 100. This is the second 100. Now I'm going to be like, list the next 100. You know, it's going to do its thing. I might even just turn that off and then just say it again. You know, but this is one of those things where, you know, just getting the hang of it. And so here we go. Do you see what just happened there? So I said list the next 100, and it was going to leave that Bing advertisement literally spinning there for like another minute. And I just clicked stop and I typed it in again and it just did it, right? So it's like, these are the kind of things you just have to be aware of when you're like on this thing, using it. It's like, it's, I don't know what you would even call that, Luke. It's like I don't know. It's like you're training a 2-year-old on like how to like, you know, you're like airplaning the food into like the 2-year-old's mouth, basically. It's like, you got to know how to play the airplane game. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, it's like, it's almost like just like, you know, taking like, you don't want to take everything with a grain of salt, because in some ways it's so much smarter than any of us, but then at the same time you've got to, it's really worth just double checking to make sure that
like
that
watch, I'll do this again. I bet you it's going to do that same exact thing again, researching with Bing, and this thing's going to just spin, right? Look at where the little bar is at. Like we're going to be sitting here for like another minute. It's spinning, it's spinning. Okay, let's not do that. Let's just type in the exact same thing again, and then it's just going to do it automatically without the Bing advertisement. Oh, wow. Yeah, let's just pick up where we left off. Actually, we didn't even need to do the Bing advertisement. We just already have the information. You know, so this is one of those, like I said, this is one of those things where this is good for you, right? People get frustrated by this, right? Most people would sit on this and they'd be cursing at the screen and being like, what the, you know, throwing something like, you know, this frustrates most human beings, right? But if you just know what it is and you can sit here and kind of do this kind of troubleshooting and just be like, okay, like, let me click stop. Let me just retype the thing. Now I'm not going to get this dumb Bing advertisement that's literally just popped up in the last 2 weeks because Microsoft got their hands on this thing and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, you just roll with the punches. Now, all of a sudden, look, we have these, I think we're on 400 now, right? We started with 1, 200, you know, 101 to 200, 201 to 300. This is 301 to 400. And we could literally just click here and keep going. And, you know, pretty soon we could have the top 1,000 or the top 2,000, right? Because we're going to be able to do 100 a day, right? So what we're going to do when we do this is we're going to do a search, and I'll check back here to see if, let me look. Man, they really just put us on that full 10-minute blast, Luke. This is like when they put the 10 minutes on at like the little, like the fast food spot, and then they just never come back.
Yeah, and that, I tell you who the master of that is as well, Apple. Every time a new iPhone or something comes out, it'll change to well, we're preparing to get things live, and then they'll no doubt always have like probably about a 1 to 2 hour load screen. It's like, I don't know if it's just because they block Australia out from accessing the site, even though they'll say this is the launch time of the new iPhone or MacBook or whatever it is, but they'll say it's only going to be a few more minutes, and it has a spinning wheel, but it's just like a video image. It's not even a live spinning image. And yeah, it can be frustrating.
So
hey, we can go over this one next week if
we're going to let's spend more time on this one, just because obviously I do want to show you guys how to actually get it from D7, and it would be nice to kind of see it. But just so you guys know, like ChatGPT is like AI is your best friend. Like AI is going to be your best friend going into 2024. Like people know what ChatGPT is. most people aren't using it, right? And the people that do use it get heavily frustrated when they use it just like we did. And they're, like I said, that was very purposeful in how I showed you guys how to use that, because I knew, again, I knew the first one was going to tell me no. I didn't even know about this whole Bing spinning wheel thing, but then we figured out together that if you just literally click stop and turn it off and you do the exact same search again, that it doesn't do that and it just gives you the answer. So this is the nature of technology. Like, you have to understand, like, you're going to turn on Facebook next week, 2 weeks, maybe tomorrow, and something that you learn that maybe we taught you is going to be different. It's going to change. It's going to be more annoying. It's going to be like, oh yeah, we upgraded it, but really it feels like a downgrade, right? And these are the things that in your brain initially, you're going to be like, I hate technology. This is ridiculous. Like, why am I even doing this? This is a pain in my butt. But everything's perspective, right? And it's actually a giant blessing, right? And the reason it's a giant blessing is because this is what keeps 99% of people out of this business, right? And when you think about it, it's not that bad, right? It's not like we're doing some like heavy manual labor and we're like breaking our backs and we're doing like, you know, I saw some guys doing like tar on the roof where my mom lives in the summer in like Palm Springs, California. It's like 125 degrees in the summertime. And there's guys up there that are like putting tar on the roofs, hot black tar on a roof in 125-degree weather. You know, it's like, we're not doing that. We're literally sitting here and there's like these little minor frustrations, but it's not a big deal. But those little frustrations is what keeps 99.9% of people from even doing this, right? So because of that, you guys are going to be able to, you know, win huge here. And that's why, like, even High Level has a lot of AI integrations that are happening right now and continuing to happen. But the more you guys can do this stuff, the more you're going to win, right? Because this is new. Like, even before we started doing the list search, it's like we could have this thing write our emails, and again, it's a conversation, right? It's like they gave us this one and it was too long, and then we say, well, give us a shorter one that's more persuasive and more informal. Well, this one, okay, well, make it a little bit more about this, you know, mention SEO, mention that we're going to do paid ads, mention the thing, you know, you literally talk to it and it's doing massive amounts of work for you, right? And so this is where AI, you know, it's like people aren't going to get replaced by machines, right? I don't know if you've heard this before. People are not going to get replaced by machines, or people are not going to get replaced by AI, but people are going to get replaced by people that use AI. People that don't use AI are going to get replaced by people that do use AI, right? And even from a coding perspective, like my friend who runs multi-million-dollar software business has a team of US-based coders, and he's having to train them right now on how to use ChatGPT, because coders that are less skilled than the ones that he has on his team are going to pass up his coders if his coders don't start to use AI, because AI writes code. So if I'm an average programmer, but I'm using AI, and I'm going up against a great programmer that doesn't use AI, I'm going to win because the AI is just going to write the code that much faster, right? And if I can just be smart enough, like right now, AI will write code with about 1 to 5% errors, maybe not even that, maybe 1 to 3% errors. So it's going to be 97 to 99% correct. So if I'm just good at coding or good enough, I can have AI writing my code, and I can literally just be reviewing it and making sure I find those 1 to 3% errors. They think that by GPT-5, it's going to be like 99 to 99.9% correct, in which case coding is going to take a huge leap forward, because now, you know, if you're not using AI, you're going to get passed up, because it's going to write the code, you know, way faster than a human. And so that's the world we live in, right? Is like coders, people who code, who write the code that even does this, are having to learn this, because if they don't, they'll get passed up, right? It's like, it's kind of a weird thing if you really think about it. It's like the actual coders themselves are having to use this tool, which is actually code, but it's massive code, right? It's this huge, language model, right? This shared language model, this huge database of information. But they're, the coders are having to use it because they'll get passed up. So imagine us, like we're not even coders, right? It's like we're sitting here doing sales and marketing and running a business. Like we're 100% going to get passed up if we don't use this, right? If a coder is going to get passed up if they don't use it, we're definitely going to get passed up, like 1,000,000%. So this is just one of those things where find out a way to use this in all aspects of your life, right? And don't, of your business life, and life in general. You can talk to ChatGPT and ask it maybe for relationship advice. I don't know, but just know that like you're gonna have to talk to it, right? It's like it's not maybe gonna give you the first thing that you want. You're gonna have to say, hey, give me this, and no, make it more like this. Give me the list like this. No, give it to me more like this. Talk, it's like it's this conversational process, but once you get it down, it's like you can whip out so much. I mean, it's just like, it's crazy. Like anything, like even this isn't something I had to train my brain to even do this, right? Because if I want to look up top 100 cities in America, I would go to Google. Like I've been programmed to go to Google since like the 90s, right? Whenever Google came out, like that's my programming is go to Google for this information. But this information, the way that I need it for the cold email doesn't even exist on Google, right? So then it's like, and we're trained to sit there on Google and spend, 30 minutes, an hour browsing around trying to find it because we obviously don't want to write out 1,000 cities manually. That's going to take the longest. That's going to take like a day, So it's like, how do we do it? And then boom, it's like we have this tool now, artificial intelligence. So digressing back to email marketing, again, this tool is going to go hand in hand. We already see two ways that this tool is going hand in hand. One, it can write our emails for us, right? And it does, again, you don't have to take it out of the box. You don't have to be like, oh, well, ChatGPT, I'm not going to use it because like this isn't the way I write. And if I read it, it's not really that great. Okay, cool. But can you come up with ideas as fast as ChatGPT? Probably not. Like I could sit here and be like, I can be like, remember that short email you just wrote for me? Give me 10 different versions of that and make a few funny ones and make sure it is colloquial. Colloquial means like informal, right? There we go. Now it's going to be like, yeah, bro, I do remember that one you did. Sure, I'll create 10 versions. Include a few humorous ones. And then it's like, go here. These are a little too short. Make them about double the length. And remember to include a call to action at the end to email us for a free, I won't say consultation, we'll say audit of their business website. Stuff like that. And we're just sitting here, we're just chatting. It's like ChatGPT, man. We're just chatting over here. We're just chatting with ChatGPT. So it's like, and then there you go. So it's like making it about double the length, right? And then like, see how that's a brick right there? So we could say like, hold on, let's stop before it goes too crazy because no one likes to read an email like that without spaces. So make more page breaks. Email, so it's in the emails so they are easier to read, you know? And of course, yes, sir. Let me get those right up for you. Here you are, right? Boom. So now it's putting the page breaks in, right? So now when we copy and paste it, we can go there and we can actually, I would click return and make it so there's actually a real space. But now we at least know where they're breaking it, right? So again, I'll create additional versions of my next response. Okay, and then you could just say keep going. And this is like, again, the weird part about ChatGPT is like, why do I have to type keep going? But like, that's how it works. What's that?
No, I was just laughing at how it makes you actually ask it to keep going. Like it's like the marketing behind it's actually wanting you to talk to it like it's a human.
Yeah, and
But
then even here, like you'd be like, you forgot the page breaks on the new one. And it knows what you're doing. It's like, I don't know if this is like, you forgot the page breaks on these. And you can literally just say that, and then it'll be like, oh, great, sorry about that. Let me hook you up.
there's a feature in here. I think I shared it on a webinar maybe like a month or two ago. And I found the links to those. I did a couple of webinars to a different audience on how to create cold emails using ChatGPT. And it's a section, I don't know if it's still in here now, but it was in the beta features where you can actually go in and add things like, whenever I write an email, please always include page breaks, please always include emojis, please always, and you can give it a list of things that no matter when you search anything, it'll be preset in there for you, which can, if you use ChatGPT a lot, it can make things a lot easier. But again, it's I think it's good just not relying on anything right now until as they're releasing so many new updates, and always just double checking everything that they say here as well. And but the cool thing is you can get literally as complex or as simple as you want. Say back to how we're offering go high level trials out. You can say, look, I'm running a campaign to try to give out free 30-day trials, and I want a couple of different cold emails with different lead magnets created that would have the highest chance of business owners opening it with creative subject lines that spike curiosity, and value-driven short emails. And you can get I could write all that, and then I get options for that as well. So you can be as detailed or as non-detailed as you want, and it's just one of those fun things where you get you'll often be surprised with the responses, and you go, oh yeah, wait, that this is a really good response, and I would have thought of that because my brain's thinking of this way only. And it's really good at sharing a few different options, and you know how Mike said ChatGPT, people can ask it for relationship advice and whatnot. I'm thinking maybe Mike was in Hawaii and he was like, how do I turn up the amount of girls that I'll see, and then ChatGPT said, sell everything, move to Miami, and get
a golden doodle.
Golden doodle, yeah.
Yeah, and get in the gym.
Yeah, and
I just listen to ChatGPT, bro. I'm not asking anybody else for advice except ChatGPT.
Yeah.
So Sam just missed his flight. He's back, so we're gonna roast Sam a little bit, and we're gonna get him to give you guys some game on cold email. But not even teach, but I just want to, because I was telling him earlier when you left, when I actually thought you were like a responsible human and you were actually gonna make your flight. But yeah, back when that was that way, I told everyone that whenever I would talk to you and you were doing like, 50,000, 100,000 a month, you're putting up the numbers, that your number one and number two thing, you'd always say you're getting your deals from, what do you think I said? Number one and number two?
Cold email and text.
No, I didn't do text. What's the other one? Referrals. Yeah. Yeah, I'll get you the thing. Yeah, that was before. Text came later. But before that, before we did text, it was always cold email and referral. So we went through some strategies here. I basically told, we were just kind of showing them how to talk to ChatGPT and how ChatGPT is smart, but also you got to kind of baby it a little bit. It's like I said, it's like playing the It's like playing the airplane game with a spoon, right? It's like you're trying to get the applesauce in the little kid's mouth. So that's kind of like what you're doing with ChatGPT here. But you can see here we added some, I said double space the breaks. They didn't obviously, but they single spaced them. But they added emojis. Here you could say, great job adding the emojis, but there are still no spaces between the page breaks, right? So like, again, this is like, some of this is like kind of dumb and doesn't seem fun, but again, this is what's gonna keep you employed. This is what's gonna give you the ability to make, tens of thousands of dollars a month, sitting in your living room, is that people just don't want to do this, right? Is like, whipping this stuff up. But anyway, what I did is I showed them on here how we could pull the states. So we went and pulled all these cities, Sam. So we started with like, 1 through 100, because I was telling them you could pull 100 a day. It's down right now, by the way. We went over to D7.
What happens if you open it in like an new like incognito window? Or is it just?
Yeah, let's try it out. I'll do Safari and see what happens. Let's see what happens.
It's never easy. It's like, and like we were talking about last week, for some reason, whenever you do a webinar, it's like there's always going to be something that's changed, whether it was like the Facebook interest the other week or today, it's now D7 Lead Finder, which I'm sure has probably never been down for you in your life.
Ever, yeah. No, I literally just went to Safari. I'll show you guys. I just opened up Safari and we got the same problem.
Maybe they got smashed with the Black Friday sales and everything. And
yeah, but anywho, that being said, we will do another training on it so you guys can see, but it's honestly good to cover, like, for one, that we're covering ChatGPT, because this is where a lot of your, it's gonna, like, again, coming back to action, right? It's like there's thought, there's speech, and there's action. What is ChatGPT doing for you right now? It's actually doing some of the action. Like, this is some of the action, right? So you're actually getting, the thing that people have the most problem with is action. For you to have to list all these out to use in D7 Lead Finder, that takes action, right? That doesn't take thought, doesn't take speech, that takes action. That takes like the final step of manifesting is action. And so this is doing a lot of that for you, right? So it's like, if this is a big problem for people, well, shoot, who cares if this is a crutch? It's not even a crutch. It's like a car, you know what I mean? A car is not a crutch for transportation. Yeah, if you're gonna always be in the car and never run and sit at home on the couch and eat potato chips, then yeah, I guess a car is a crutch at that point. But a car in its essence is not a crutch for transportation. It's like a turbocharger. So that's where ChatGPT is, right? It's like, this shouldn't be viewed as a crutch. This is a turbocharger. This doesn't mean that you don't put your own flavor on it. This doesn't mean that you don't come into the emails and you like customize them the way you want them and make it sound like your own flavor and your own style. But you're just not going to be able to think of stuff this fast. Like, you're not going to be able to brainstorm this fast. You're not even going to be able to like come up with emojis this fast. Like, these guys are, pulling from just a massive amount of data, to do this stuff. So anyway, so I'm glad we were able to cover this. We'll dive back into D7 Lead Finder and show you guys how to do it. Again, every single day you can pull 100 cities. So the reason that we're showing you how to use ChatGPT to pull it is because you're going to need that format, right? You're going to need to put in chiropractor, and then you're going to need to put in that first list of 100 cities. And then you're going to, next day, it's going to reset, because it resets every 24 hours. And then you're going to do 101 to 200. Then you're going to do 201 to 300. Then you're going to 301 to 400. Now you're going to do 401 to 500, right? But again, it takes a little bit to talk to like somebody. How many of you, and you don't have to answer this in the questions, but just in your own brain, like, how many of you may have come to ChatGPT before we had this lesson and got super frustrated and not even used it for this, right? Like, I could even see myself in that boat, or maybe a younger me, like coming here and being like playing with it, and it says no, and then I put it again, and it's like, I'm going to search Wikipedia, and I do it again, and it says it's searching Bing, and I'm just sitting around and it's not working. I've already told it 3 things to do, and all 3 times it's basically not giving me a good answer, a lot of people would leave, you know. But then we sat here and we're like, we know what's what. So we're like, okay, well, actually, this is what you got to do. You got to type it in this way. And then when it starts spinning, you press stop, and then you just put the same thing in again. And then, ooh, wow, now magic, you just saved yourself hours and hours and hours of time from searching something on Google that you're not going to find. And now you have it in seconds, but you just had to get over that little hurdle with ChatGPT. So that's, again, that's like, they ask yourself that, like, who would have left? Who would have got frustrated? It's like, but it, now knowing what you know, you can go into it a little bit different and be like, okay, like, I understand what this is. Like, I'm not freaking, it's not rocket science. I'm not tarring a roof in 125-degree weather. I'm not doing manual labor here. I shouldn't be that frustrated. I just need to understand that I'm dealing with like a new beast here, and this is how it works, right? And then you can start to, you know, kind of work off of that. So let's get back into cold emails though. So now let's say theoretically D7 Lead Finder is up and running. We want to run this list. Now there's a few ways that we can do it. So one way is we can go into Go High Level and we can send an email, and I'll show you guys, you know, how we would do this. We would do it the same way that we would set up a, you know, any other sequence that we would do. So let me go ahead and open this up. Let's see. All right.
And while Mike's doing this, I've got after he's done his part today, I'll show you a few ways just that you guys can even get started getting free cold leads today from actual decision makers as well in a more wouldn't even say manual, but there's a few other ways you can do it in a way that not many people know how to do. So I'll share that with you guys after.
Yeah.
So at least that way you guys can get some leads and implement that today, and then next week we can go with just the D7 Lead Finder angle as well, where you can just get bulk leads and go that way.
And I want to, Sam's sitting here with me too, so I want to get your opinion on this, Sam. When you look at the different ways of sending out the emails, so now we just pulled a list. Let's say we pulled the top 100, let's say we pulled the top 500 cities for chiropractors, right? So we went in, we did chiropractors one day, we did cities 1 through 100. And then we went in the second day and we pulled the 200, 300, 400, et cetera. So now 5 days later, we've got all the chiropractors in the top 500 cities. Probably means our email list is like at least 100,000 big. You know, it's going to be a big list. How would you recommend if someone's new and they're starting this for the first time, between the different ways of like Gmail, BCC, like BCCing on a Gmail with like under 500, or let's say using, you know, one of the tools with Gmail, like basically doing a basic BCC using one of the tools that you've used before that ties into like a personal Gmail, or using like High Level or Kajabi or something like that. Like what would you recommend for somebody that's starting off? Like what would you say to do getting into the game, just starting with cold email?
When you're starting with cold email, you want to really, I think the most important thing is that you're sending out a specific number of emails every single day and you never stop. So when I first started sending cold emails, I would send 50 or 100 emails a day when I first started, and I kept that going every day. And you know, when you send 100, you're going to get 1 or 2 that respond to you that are interested in your offer. So 1 to 2 interested leads a day. If your conversion rate's like 20, 25%, you're going to sign up some clients. I like to use the BCC method, and I also like to use tools like Woodpecker, woodpecker.co. I've been experimenting with Instantly, GMass. I've really been trying everything, but the best, easiest thing to set up is a simple tool like Woodpecker, where the maximum it could send out is 50 emails a day per email. It's $40 a month per email. So when I was really scaling Woodpecker, I had a bunch of accounts, $40 a month each, but it was bringing back like 20, 30,000 in sales each month, and like my investment was just a couple $100. So I love cold email. And then when you get a client, the most important thing I always try to do in the beginning is, hey, do you know any other business owners that are smart like you that would potentially be interested in working with us to grow? If you give me 2 referrals, I'll give you a month for free. If you give me a referral, I'll cut you a check for 20-25%. So that's how we can capitalize off those cold email clients to start getting us referrals as soon as they sign up. We don't have to wait 30 days. We can start asking for the referral right away. Some clients will give you the referral. Some will say, let's wait till, I got a smile on my face at the end of this 30-day period. And that's how I like to do it.
So yeah, and for those of you that, when we're saying the BCC method, that's going to be like when you go on to a Gmail account and you basically copy and paste all of those emails and you put it all under the BCC or the blind carbon copy part of Gmail. Now you don't want to do the CC because that will make it so everybody sees everybody else's email. But if you put everybody's email in the BCC, then people can only see your email that you're sending from and their email, which is they're receiving. They don't see anybody else's email. So that's something where, Google in the past has allowed up to around 500 emails a day to be sent on a personal email, and it'll go to, it'll go to the main inbox without getting spam. Now, if you're doing this a lot, Google has, unfortunately, some of the best tracking of all the email stuff. So, if you send it for long enough from a Gmail at the 500 a day, then, you're probably going to start going to spam. That's probably why. What do these guys allow per day on emails? Woodpecker, you can't go over 50?
Yeah, you can't go over 50.
You can't?
You can send 100 if you want.
Okay.
But stay at 50 so you don't get banned.
Yeah, so it's kind of that, and then again, this is why people don't do this, because there's not a set rule book on this, right? We're used to learning in school, and it's like, this is how it is, 1 + 1 = 2, like nice and easy. And that's just not what makes money, right? It's like, if you want to be in this world of being able to make, tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars a month, you're going to be in this world of the rules aren't necessarily out there, because if they were, then everybody would be doing it, right? So it's like one of those things where you have to jump in and you have to play with it and be like, okay, I'm going to try to send 50. Do I get banned? I'm going to try 100. Do I get banned? On the BCC, like, I send a lot of my stuff out for my personal coaching via my BCC, and I'll send close to 500 when I do those emails. Now, I don't do those emails every day, so I'm not like heavily blasting it, but I'm doing that from a personal email, and those are going through, and I'm getting them all into the inbox, right? And even, OGs of the email world will still go to BCC if they have a list under 500, because, it generally has the highest probability of going to the inbox and not going to spam or a separate folder, right? So, but anyway, so this is one way that you can do it. This is leveraging Gmail. So this is where you set up like separate Gmails. This is what Sam has always been doing. I mean, Sam, anytime I called him over the last 5 years, would, at any given month would have probably made an extra 10 to 30,000 a month from just doing this cold email strategy. So this is something that works, right? It's something that's like, a small, teeny tiny investment to, make a lot more money. Now, if you want to graduate a little bit, you can run emails from your high level. Okay. Now, if you come in here, let's go to the settings tab of this one, and we can take a look at it. So we'll switch to agency view. We'll go to settings here at the bottom. And then we'll go to email services right here on the left-hand column. And we're not going to do a dedicated domain just yet, although you can. So, here it's going to be an important notification, boost your email deliverability, dedicated sending domain for approved email deliverability. Currently, we are using a shared sending domain for your email communications. While this is a very convenient option, we would like to recommend a strategic enhancement to your email delivery process, creating your very own dedicated sending domain. So this is something that all of you should probably do. This is going to take some extra steps for you to set this up. So again, this is why a lot of us, we want to start with, something more simple. I'd say the simplest thing you can do is, again, play with the BCC and, send out, start with 50 a day, then do 100 a day, etc. Then you can come in here and you can send from this email without the dedicated sending domain. But what happens is when you're sharing a domain, you're sharing it with everybody else that's using this, right? So this is one of those things where you're going to have, you're going to have issues over time as far as with deliverability. And so the thing about a domain is that, again, we don't want to prevent ourselves from making this happen, right? So if we want to just go on to D7 Lead Finder, get a list, put that into a BCC on Gmail, you're going to make money. Do that consistently, get a couple Gmails that aren't like your main Gmail, send those out. That's the easiest thing, right? From there, the next step is a couple options. One, you can go down the road of managing multiple Gmails through Woodpecker. And again, I wouldn't go crazy here. If you're going to do this, I would start with 1 or 2. It's really about consistency over a blast, right? So when we're talking about getting in the game and getting to your first 10 or 20 or 30,000 a month, we're not talking about massive, massive emails here. We're talking about a consistent drip of emails. Now, the other thing is the offer. Now I'm not gonna cover that on this call because this can get deep, but Sam was with me in Maui. We tested a new offer for what was it, Sam? Sam remembers. What was the email offer that hit like anything you've ever seen in your whole life?
It was a free directory listing.
A free directory listing, right? So now I'm not over here like giving sign language to Sam, right? Like this was undeniably the best thing that we'd ever seen, right? We sent out an email and we literally had like 30 or 40 bookings on the calendar every single day. And then another probably 30 opt-ins on top of that didn't book a calendar. So we had like 60 opt-ins a day and half of those were like actually on a calendar. Like we didn't even know what the heck to do. Okay, so again, you don't need a lot of emails. You need to have that offer and you need to have consistency, right? And if that happens, then you're gonna see success. But sometimes it takes testing. The reason that the directory one was so powerful is it was just like the perfect hook. Like we were giving somebody a free directory listing, and I might even show you guys kind of a little bit on what that looks like. But again, it doesn't have to be the directory necessarily, but it's that idea of if you were in their shoes, what's something free that would be cool for them to get that is like low friction, that doesn't make them feel like they're gonna get sold anything, right? It's like, what's something that's gonna make them feel like you're, just gonna hook them up with something that's like low friction. And that's why like in the world of opting into something, it's not just about the offer, it's about how easy it is and kind of the risk of being sold something, right? So I'll give you an example. If you're sending out an email and you're like telling somebody, hey, I'm gonna give you like, let's say we're doing AI, right? and I'm like, hey, do you want this list of the top 100 apps in AI that will allow you to make X amount of money per month? But these are the top 100 apps that do everything from create pictures to videos to, text to, all the different things these different apps can do. Give me your email, give me your phone number, and I will give you this list, right? That's one. The other hook is give me your name, your email, your phone number, and I will coach you. And I will actually like get on a call with you and teach you about this stuff or whatever. The coaching, even though it's more valuable, I could pretty much guarantee you that if you ran that as an ad, you are going to get 10 times more people that are going to prefer to have the list, because it's just going to be easy for them, right? It's going to be, so it's, again, it's even if the coaching is more valuable, it's going to come with these things that other person on the other end isn't going to necessarily want. They're not necessarily going to want to spend time with you on the phone. They don't know who you are. They're probably afraid of getting sold something. So there's a lot of things that also come with that, right? So again, when you're crafting an offer, it's all about like the value it's providing while also like not hitting, these trigger points, right? And so again, we did a free directory listing. I'll try to find that so I can show you guys actually what that looks like. But that was something that kind of checked those boxes, right? It was like something free. Everybody wanted it. They could sign up for it on their own. And there wasn't really any risk there for them to like lose time or lose too much time or get sold something or all this kind of stuff. Even though they did, that's ultimately what happened, but it just didn't come across that way.
And just touching on that real quick, just thinking about like the kind of the process we've been going through about how like obviously going to be offering the 30-day trial for Go High Level, which then will convert into the monthly recurring. We can even take it back even a step, and instead of trying to offer them a 30-day trial, because that word trial still kind of insinuates they're going to be sold something. We could do the free marketing order, which you can get from Go High Level. Just say, and in the email, it can be as simple as just respond, letting me know if you'd like that, just with your company's website, and then you can look it up in the Go High Level prospecting tab, and then create that really nice PDF form that we've gone over in the past, or you can send them a link that then links to them entering that information, like their business email or their business website, and then have that lead then be added into Go High Level as a prospect. The other thing I wanted to mention as well is, while we've shown a couple of different ways to contact cold leads here from Woodpecker here, or using the BCC option. I know a lot of you have been with me for some time, and we've done a lot of cold email marketing training. And I know a lot of you, I got to the point where I got sick of using all these little tools that you'd have to figure out that they could only send so many emails per day. And when I really learned the depths of email marketing in general, let alone cold email marketing, like having to get an IP that's warmed up, how to actually, what's the best way to actually send more emails every single day without it then turning into a spam email that ends up into spam. How many times should you email cold emails before removing them? All these different things. And then I went out and created that cold email autoresponder that we called Malvio Prospect with me and my friend Neil Napier, where it actually kind of removed all of the guesswork for you guys. Of like, if you guys burnt an IP because you sent too many emails at once, we would just give you a new warmed up IP. And we went into depths to ensure you guys could essentially have the functionality of an autoresponder, where all you needed to do was upload your leads, and then from our side, it would warm up, it would send X amount of emails every single day, increasing it every single day, and as well as removing any leads that didn't open your emails after 2 emails, to ensure that you just weren't spamming tens of thousands of emails that were never going to open it anyway after 1 or 2 tries. But we closed that offer a little while ago. So if you want me to bring that, open that up again, I will. speak to Neil, and we can probably do that for you guys as well. But again, it's that is a paid service, and I try to show you guys as many free ways to do things, but at the same time, I want to ensure that if there's a way that just removes so much time, energy, stress, and we can do the work for you in a lot of ways, so you don't have to worry about certain things. That's what I'll share with you guys too. So again, I'm not trying to make any big sales off you guys, but and I'll even see if I can create a monthly option for that for you guys, because in the past I think it was a yearly option. It still worked out to be something cheap, as like $30 a month or something, but we sold it as a yearly cost there. So I'll see if we can bring that one back for you guys as well. But again, just over the next week, just get started using that BCC method, or you even check out Woodpecker, but just get some, just like Mike said, doing the action and actually putting the wheels to the ground and start going with it. You'll see some really cool things start to happen. So Mike, I'll let you just take over from there again.
Yeah, and I see some questions coming in about, email verification and all this kind of stuff. And so, Sam, I actually joke with him because he doesn't do any email verification and he still makes money. Always, like, he's the worst, honestly. Sorry, Sam, I don't mean to talk too much trash over here, but he's smiling because he knows it's true. I'll be like, Sam, did you scrub those emails? He's like, what? No. Why would I ever do that? And I'm like, bro, if you scrub the emails, you're gonna get like 99.9% delivery, and like you're gonna get rid of all the bad ones. He's like, no, man, but I sent it out and it worked, and I got like 2 deals and made $6,000 a month. So I mean, it just goes to show you, it's like, look, like, would it be better if he scrubbed them? Yeah, but is he winning over 99.9% of people who will sit there and just not do it because they think they have to do this or that, or they're afraid of doing it wrong or whatever? Like, of course, like that's the name of the game. Everybody that's winning, like I'm in Miami, I'm on like the basketball court of business. Like in Hawaii, I wasn't even in the arena. I was like in the parking lot. I was at the hotel getting ready. It's like in Miami, it's like you are on the basketball court. You have your jersey on, like especially this time of year, like Art Basil's coming up on the 4th. Like every billionaire and their mom is literally flying in here, and it is just like, this is like center stage for like the American world of business, like right now for the next probably 4 or 5 months. And I can tell you, because I run these guys, like I work out with these guys in the morning at the gym, and there's a whole circle of them, and they're all doing like $2-3 million a month passively, like mostly profit. And most of them are all doing online things, and they're just fast. They just have speed. They're like speed to action, speed to action, speed to action. And like you can refine it if you're naturally like somebody that likes to refine things. Like, yeah, sure, make it better. Like your polish on there is going to be important, but only to the level that it doesn't slow you down from just implementing. And like Sam, he's like the Tasmanian devil, is like, in a China shop. Like he's just ripping through it, and he's not really concerned if he breaks some dishes. But at the end of the day, like, Tasmanian devil, man, he's done well. He's done well. So, you know what I mean? And I'm a little bit different, but it's like you find your own balance for what works. But that being said, I use emailverifier.com for my stuff. Let's see if I can find it. Email. This is the cheapest one by far. And but actually high level does it too. So you might even just want to use high levels. They have their own email. Let's see. I'll show you the one I used.
And when Mike does that, this essentially will just go out and make sure that in the list of emails that you get that are cold emails, that none of them are like these different, like Google and different providers will put out emails there that know that if they are added onto a list of any sort or mailed, that the only way you could have got that email is through some essentially scraping it or from a buying it. And they're basically like little traps that they'll say, okay, that if they got this email, then all of these emails shouldn't be sent to, or if someone's deleted their email or someone hasn't accessed their email in a long time, then they're a dead email. It's just going to affect everything from open rates to where you might end up to, if you end up in promotions or there's a whole science behind it. But again, I think, like Mike said, just taking that action and not sweating every little one of these steps, but at the same time being aware of that these things are out there. Again, I think next week what I'll probably do as well is when we go through the G7 lead finder, I'll also go through the autoresponder that we built specifically for this, so you don't even have to worry about any of these issues, and it does it all for you. So
and Sam, when you get a client, like, what's the minimum? Well, first of all, let's say, what's the average that you charge a client per month? 2,500 is the average. What's the highest paying client that you've had this year, like, consistently? 14,000 a month? Yeah. Okay, 14,000 a month. And what's your lowest client?
500 a month.
500 a month, right? So gives you a little range, right? So it's like, think about that. He's going 500 on the low, 2,500 average. Highest client was 14,000 a month. How long did the 14,000 a month one stick for?
He's been with me 2 years.
He's been paying 14,000 a month for 2 years?
Yeah.
See, I told you, Sam's a boss. So here we go. But let's unpack this a little bit, right? So it's like, what is your
page? I don't know if it's meant to be.
What's that?
Your screen's still on the whiteboard page. It might still meant to be there, but I just didn't know if I
no, yeah, we're just looking at a white screen. It's all good. Just
to
open up you want to look at, like, you want me to do like blue or green, purple?
Maybe just a selfie of yourself with your dog, and that
nice.
always increases engagement, and watch the attentiveness score go up. No, I'm kidding.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Do I have a picture of my dog?
Yeah, see, Jennifer says the dog. Jennifer says the dog in the chat as well.
The dog. Show the dog. Let's see if I can give you a picture. But yeah, well, I'm pulling up a little doggy picture. What I want to tell you guys is, like, your first goal is that you should be replacing, especially if you have a job. If you have a 9 to 5, your first goal is to buy your time back. Your first goal is to have passive income coming in that covers whatever your expenses are to buy your time back. That is always your first goal. And it could be, even if it doesn't even have to be a job. It could be that you're, like, self-employed, but you're married to the hours, right? So it's like, your first goal is to buy your time back. So if that's $5,000 a month, if that's $10,000 a month, if that's $3,000 a month, $8,000 a month, whatever the number is, that buys your time and then opens up this world of you having all your time back, 40 hours a week, right? If you're working a full-time job, that's 160 hours a month that you can buy back. You can basically live multiple lifetimes, theoretically, if you can buy your time back and now have that time to, grow your business and just live your life differently than having to plug in 160 hours a month into something that, you might not necessarily put 160 hours a month in if you didn't want to. So when you look at those numbers that Sam gave, it's like, how many clients is that, right? I mean, at 2,500, for some of you guys, that might be 2 clients, might be 1 client, might be 4 clients, right? Or the 14,000, if you get the 14,000 client. I mean, I had a client I signed up off a cold email pretty recently, and he was 6,800, 6,700 a month. I mean, that's 1 client for a lot of you guys that would literally just, put you guys in position. And that was a client from cold email, an attorney, a personal injury attorney. So that's just kind of to give you guys an idea of, it's not like you're trying to break through and get 100 clients here. It's like, if you get just a couple clients, that could be enough to, like, free up your time so that now you can start, diving into this more and more and more. But as far as email verifier, let me see. I'm going to see if I can pull up the one that I mean, there's a lot out there as far as verification goes. You can, let's see, email list. I think it's this guy right here. Log in.
I want to add something.
Yeah, get in there, Sam. Oh, goodness.
You guys will quickly find out that client acquisition is pretty easy. Well, the methods that Mike will teach, like cold email, texting, you have the A2P issues now. So You can text from your cell phone now instead. But these methods work. Now, how do you close the client? That's going to be like the second most important thing. Like, how can I build my communication to build trust, rapport, know, like, and trust with the clients so that they do business with me? And then as soon as you sign them up, how can I get that client to feel real good the first 48 hours, the first week, the first 2 weeks, and the first month? How can I communicate in a way that the client feels secure and is excited about having us on his team? That way, if I can do that, I'm getting that referral. So what'll happen is I'll get a client from cold email at $2,500 a month, which is the lowest ticket for what I'm selling on cold email, $2,500 a month, and he'll refer me another client the same week. Now I'm making $5,000 a month off of a free cold email. And I've had instances where I got a client for $6,500 a month, just like Mike, to offer 2 different services, SEO for $4K a month and lead generation for $2,500. So he's paying $6,500 a month. And then after like 2 months, because I kept the communication really good with the client, I really enjoyed working with him. He referred me a client that paid me $4,000 a month. So just from that one cold email, and I was able to generate $10,500 a month. They both paid me for well over a year. I'm pretty sure they stuck around for 2 years. At least one of them did. But that was awesome. So the email methods work. All the stuff works. How can we sell them better? And once they sign up, how can we make them feel really good after they invest their money with us, so that we can get referrals?
Love it, Sam. Love it, buddy. Yeah, and again, to that point, referrals, again, it's like, if you can get one client from email and you can get, referrals from that client, like all of a sudden that can literally be possibly more income than you're producing, right now from a main job that is, 40 hours of your week of time, 40 hours a week of your time, 160 hours a month. So it's one of those things where it's worth taking the time to understand, how it all goes together, but there's not that many moving parts. But Sam, since I have you here and it's unique, I want to ask you a couple questions because I know a lot of people here are starting off and probably trying to make, if it's not their first money online, it's going to be like their first like major break, right? Because there's like the time you made your first like dollar online, like that's cool, but it's also the time that you like break through and you actually like become, someone that purely, makes a really good living online. And you are definitely one of those people. Like, I met you 5-6 years ago. I don't know if that was the first money you made online with that, but probably one of the first times you had like a decent money. And now 6 years later, you're crushing it. So 2 questions. One is something I talked about earlier, like how much has changed from that class you took with me on Ty Lopez to now, like to the strategies that we did back then to now, like how much has changed and how much has stayed the same? That would be the first question. And then the second question would be, for people coming up, getting started, what, I'm a big believer in like you saw that class you took on SMMA was 45 minutes and you went and made money with it, right? This group here has been with us for 9 weeks, right? And obviously, like, it's cool to get to know a lot about the strategies and the different parts. And like, essentially we'll sit on these calls for an hour, 2 hours. So if this is the 9th or 10th call, we've been on for, 10, 20 hours, teaching all kinds of stuff. But you took a class that was like 45 minutes and made money with it. Now, you put more time in before that. You were part of OMG and, you had some skill there, but like, so first question is, like I said, how much has changed since that original class you took, that 45-minute class on SMMA where you made $28,000 in 2 weeks selling lead ads? And then the second question is, if you're new and you're getting in the game, how do you go from all this information, it's like almost like information overload. Like it's kind of information overload for me when I'm talking about it. And then I think about the people on the other end and I'm like, man, it's like, if only we could make this simpler, you know, it's like, fuck, it's like, we're telling them you could do BCC and then you could do woodpecker and you could do high level, but you gotta, you know, season your email. And then luckily Luke has, you know, some software on his side that seasons your email. But like, if you say this to like any normal human, they're like, what are you talking about, bro? Like, this is why I don't work on technology, because you sound crazy. So what would you say to the people that are just really trying to break through, that might have analysis paralysis or might have information overload, or just feel like, where do I start? Like, how do I start? What would you say to that?
I think the best way to start is to try as many things as you can really quickly. One of the ways that I messed up recently was trying this new email method, supposed to send out 5,000 emails a day. And it took us 2 weeks to get the whole thing set up before we realized it was broken. And it didn't work. That email method wasn't going to work. We weren't going to get the 5,000 emails a day. It took us 2 weeks to figure out that it didn't work. We could have realistically figured out that it didn't work in 3 days, and that slowed me down from making, you know, the income goals that I had. So my advice to you guys is just try a lot of things and don't be afraid to fail. Whatever is the simplest for you, go forward with that first, because making money online, especially with the agency way, is extremely simple. Like, I can get a client to pay me $500 a month to do any kind of marketing any day, because it's only $500. And I have these kind of conversations with business owners all the time that are like, yeah, I have a new business, we make less than 10K a month, you know, we want to grow. Obviously they can't afford to pay me 2,000-3,000. That's literally 30% of their gross revenue. So I'll say, you know what, let's do a deal, $500. You know, my service is worth more, but let's start there. And I can close a couple of those deals a week just by, you know, offering it. I wouldn't say that, you know, you want to rack up a bunch of $500 a month clients, but just get your feet wet with anything. I was fulfilling, it's like selling articles for like $100 a week to a law firm. They needed like 2 articles a week. They were paying $100. Just getting your feet wet, getting some kind of deals flowing through will get you warmed up for the bigger deals, like the 5K a month, the 10K a month deals that are out there. You just need to get a little bit of experience. And even if it's just selling 2 articles a week that you can do on ChatGPT for a law firm, or whatever it may be.
Yeah, and again, go back to snapshots, guys. Like, this is, you know, Sam's not even like super privy, and I'm gonna make him more privy to it just by me talking about it, because I'm just like, I'm super hot on snapshots right now. I'll give you an example. I was with a guy, his name's Jeremy. He does a mastermind out here. Guy's doing hundreds of thousands of dollars. He uses High Level. I'm like, hey, I'm the super affiliate manager for High Level. Boom, boom, boom. We hang out. We have this same membership at this like standard hotel by my house. And, you know, he's a real insightful dude. We actually went to this Kabbalah class together the other night. And so we kind of connected afterwards. And I was telling him we actually sit in a sauna last night, and I was telling him about it. And I was like, you know, I was like, in the world of online, you know, we hear so much that it's so hard to decipher what's what, right? There's always a new shiny object. There's always a new thing. There's always this, that, the other. But the thing is there's real gold in there. There's real diamonds in there. Like, there's real actual treasure coming out all the time. It's just, you have to be able to decipher it. Is it gold or is it fool's gold? Is it a diamond or is it glass, right? And that's what takes the, you know, the knowledge, the network, the intuition to know what's what. And so I was talking to him about snapshots, and I was like, bro, like, you don't understand how powerful this is in High Level. Like, do you understand that you can go into a niche, You can build something one time with all the best marketing tools, funnels, text sequences, email sequences, messenger sequences, CRM pipeline structure, Zapier triggers, website, everything. Literally, you could build a legitimate prototype for a niche that's worth $50,000 to $100,000 of value, right? Maybe it took you $10,000 to build it. Maybe it took you $5,000 worth of man hours to build it. But you could build something, and obviously Luke has already done it for you with a lot of these snapshots, but you could literally have a $50,000 perfect prototype for a niche. Let's call it a lawyer, let's call it a doctor. And then the second person in that niche that comes on, you're literally just pressing a copy button and you're able to produce another $50,000 worth of value. And then my buddy goes, because he does this, he makes hundreds of thousands of dollars a year doing, high hundred thousands of dollars doing coaching. His first thing he said, which was very smart, which a smart marketer would say, is he said, oh yeah, that's amazing. He's like, you just have to go in and customize it for that company, right? And I was like, no, you don't even have to do that. You can make all the fields dynamic so that when you're actually just filling out the form for the client and you're putting in their name and their address and their company name and their phone number, that when you fill out that basic information, it will automatically go and dynamically fill in all the text and emails and everything with the proper information. You don't even have to customize it. It'll customize it for you just off of you filling out the basic information about the business. And he was like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. And I'm like, yeah, imagine you could sit there and you were in a niche of, let's say 100 people. Don't even say 1,000. Don't even say like DearDoc. We know DearDoc has 5,000 or 6,000 doctors on their roster, right? So let's not even say that number. Let's say 100, right? If you had a $50,000 prototype and you could literally sit there and press the copy button 100 times and it's going to whip out $50,000 worth of custom value for all those customers on all 15 plus of those different marketing apps, all under one login and password. And you can do that in seconds for client 2, 3, 4, 5, and on. For the first client, it took you some time, right? Because you had to build the prototype. But for clients 2, 3, and 4, and 5 through infinity, it takes you literally minutes, if not seconds, to duplicate that, right? That's a superpower, right? That's the moment that you have to use your network, your knowledge, your intuition to be like, that's a diamond. I know there's a lot of stuff being talked out here, but that is a diamond, certified VVS 1. That's a diamond, right? And it's like, now you can use that, right? Because again, when you're getting in front of these people, we're talking to you about marketing, but ultimately it all merges, right? Marketing goes into sales. If you ever hear like a sales company or a marketing company that's doing really, really well, a lot of times they will attribute it to the sales and marketing divisions working well together and working together seamlessly. I've heard it 100 times. They'll be like, the sales will be up or the marketing will be up, and the head of marketing or the head of sales will get up and they'll be like, honestly, a big reason for this happening was because our sales and marketing came together and we're on the same page and we're like in sync, right? And so that's how it is for your own business, right? It's like you have to market these people, get in front of them, but then ultimately have that offer and be able to use these new things, right? So snapshots are definitely one of them. Snapshots is absolutely something that you should be putting in front of these clients and being like, hey, I'll give you a 30-day trial. I'll include this snapshot. If you stick after the 30 days, I'll give you more snapshots. I'll give you a more robust snapshot. Like if you understand the power of that and how to use that, like you can literally just write your own ticket, because it's like this guy that I was in the sauna with, that I was talking about it, he's been hitting me up all day. He's like, what was the name of that again? He's on high level already. He already uses high level for all of his stuff. And he's like, but he doesn't know about snapshots. He's like, what is it here? Let me look at the thing. Look at this. Sam will read it for you. Right here. What did he say?
Good shit tonight, brother.
He said, good shit tonight, brother. excited to link more and build a friendship. And I said, likewise, send him a little emoji. And then he said,
What's that shit called? Clone, duplicate? It's another word he used.
he was on it, right? This morning, he said, what's that shit called? A clone, a duplicate, but it's another word you use. And I said, snapshot, right? Because he knows he's a experienced marketer that when I said that, he's like, oh my gosh, like that is the secret. Even Luke caught onto it like faster than anybody. He was like, oh my God, this is like the key. And it's true. And even Extendly, when they were at the high level event, they were selling more than any other vendor there by like a mile. And their whole thing was they were leading with snapshots. So it's like you have this tool, not many people know about it, and you can use it, right? You can get in front of these people and that can be your directory offer, right? That can be your offer of like, hey, do you want a free funnel? Do you want a free, you know, text email sequence? However you want to chop it up. What I would suggest is that you have part of your snapshots that you give away for somebody to sign up and just be on a free trial. And then if they stick with you and they become a paying customer, then you give them more, right? It's like the traditional value ladder of like, you know, kind of working them up and having something that you give them for each of those. But anyway, so you know, that's going to be key for you guys, is going to be, you know, essentially mastering these marketing methods, being slow, being steady. Like what I heard from Sam is, you know, like don't try to go too crazy. Like 50 emails doesn't sound like a lot, 50 emails a day, right? He wanted to do 5,000, but the truth was, Sam, did you make more off of doing 50 emails a day or trying to do 5,000? 50, right?
It took 5 minutes to set up.
Right. And so it's like sometimes we just get these, you know, grandiose, and I've had it happen to me before. I had a marketing method very similar. It was just pumping out deals like hotcakes, but I was like, ooh, no, I want a 10 exit. I want a 100 exit. Guess what happened? Same thing that happened to Sam. I tried a 100 exit, the whole thing broke, and I was broke. So, so it doesn't work out. So, you know, slow and steady, tortoise wins the race, and, you know, play with some of these tools that you have at your fingertips, you know, with snapshots and with different ways to, you know, get in front of people and build value. But Sam, last question. I don't know if you really touched on it, and then I'll kick it back over to Luke, but how much has stuff changed since the original class, that 45-minute class where you made 24 or 28,000? I still have the video. I still have your testimonial video. I got to go back and look, but you made $20-some thousand in like 2 weeks doing lead ads. How much of that is different from what we do today, 6 years later?
It's still all the same exact thing. It hasn't changed much at all. It still takes 5 to 10 minutes to set up the campaign if you know what you're doing. And back in the day, we didn't have high level. We only had spreadsheets. So today we have high level. We have the text follow-ups. So it's a little bit more advanced, but that also helps the client make more money too. Because before they just had these spreadsheets with leads. Now we're giving them go high level, all these text automations, these email automations. We're making their lives so much easier. But yeah, to set up the ads, the same offer works. The freaking $49 chiropractic special that I was doing 6 years ago, I still do it today. And still works, and people are still buying that stuff, and they're always looking for a new vendor who's more responsive to them, or offers more competitive pricing, or not only does the lead generation, the lead ads, but also offers SEO and website management. This is a
and that's a great point, Sam. And that's, look, and this is the last thing I'll say, and I'll kick it back over to you, Luke, is it's dirt simple, really. I mean, if you, at the end of the day, leads plus nurturing equals sales, right? We're using different lead sources, but we could use one if we wanted to, because even a single, like Sam was making all of his money off of cold email and referrals, like 90%, maybe what, 10% came from Facebook ads. You didn't even do Facebook ads forever. Yeah, I never, like every time I called him, he said cold email and referrals, and then text recently, but I didn't even show him how to do text until like we were at my house. That was like a year ago. So cold email and referrals, right? So it's like he has the opportunity. He knows how to run Facebook ads. He runs Facebook ads for his clients. He runs Instagram ads for his clients. Like he knows how to run ads. He's run a lot of ads, but all his business is coming from cold email. Why? Because it's cheap, it's effective, makes a lot of money. You know what I mean? No fuss, no muss. Like it just works.
Almost free.
Yeah, Sam said it's almost free, right? So Sam's cheap. That's what he's trying to say. No, I was kidding. But seriously, so it just shows you, same way I said that when I was in San Francisco and the guys were making 40 million a month on their apps and they were only using Facebook ads and they had other ad platforms. They had I forget all the big ones back then, but there was a bunch of them and they were just like, no, Facebook's so good, we just use that. So have a lead source. High Level does all the things. Like back in the day when Sam and I first started, we were doing, you heard him say it, the same thing 6 years ago. But you know what was different is we had to use Zapier, which is an app, to take the content from a lead ad and put it into a spreadsheet. So we had to have a spreadsheet app. Zapier, that's a second app. Now we got 2 logins and passwords. Then we had to have MailChimp, that's 3 logins and passwords. Then we added text with Scipio, now we're at 4. Then we added a CRM, we use like Pipedrive. Now we're at 5 logins and passwords. Then we're adding a funnel builder. Now we're at 6 logins and passwords. So it's like, now you don't have to do any of that. Like you have 1 login and 1 password for like 16, 17 different things, right? And so, and that's it. And that's how it works. And it's like, if you nail the offer, that's it. So hear what Sam said. We're doing the same thing for the last 6 years, right? So that means that when you call and talk to clients, he said, what are they looking for? Somebody that's more responsive. So they want somebody more responsible. We want to try some new stuff, right? They want maybe a better cost, right? Maybe cheaper. But what's the other thing, right? Because we can win on cost or we can win on creativity, right? And creativity is coming up with an offer that nobody else has. Well, guess what nobody's doing right now? Snapshots. What's the most powerful thing out right now when it comes to agency? Snapshots. There's nothing else where I can literally click a button and deliver $100,000 worth of value for somebody if I have a robust enough snapshot built out with all the text sequences, email, live chat, CRM, trigger sequences, calendar sequences, Zapier, funnels, websites. Like there's nothing, right? So that's a tool right there where you can come in and you can sound different. As soon as you sound different, guess what? You're not going to get compared. As soon as you can be like, look, I have a blueprint built already, all these things listed, list all the 15 things you have built on the snapshot, all of this built. The value of this is $20,000. I'll give it to you right now. I'll give you the light version for free with the free trial. It's like a $5,000 value. Once you actually sign up in 30 days after your free trial, I'll give you the complete version, which is $20,000. You'll get that for free just for paying me whatever the cost is, right? Just that alone right there is like something new that nobody's heard, right? And it's like, if you have the visual to show them, if you have, the funnels or the sequences or anything you can show visually, now all of a sudden you are a marketer that is telling them something that they haven't heard before, which ultimately is going to get you the business, right? And so that's where I'll kind of like end it. Again, we're going to dive back into this. I apologize to you guys that we weren't able to like dive into D7 Lead Finder, but I hope you guys did get a lot out of this as far as just strategy, knowing what to do. As soon as D7 Lead Finder comes back on, you can easily see it.
I want to also add something too, like
Yeah.
These snapshots in super competitive niches, right? Like chiropractors, everybody goes after chiropractors, including myself. But there's other niches out there that nobody's going after, like transmission repair shops. Very, very needed, a lot of traffic, $4,000 a ticket, right? If you need transmission repair. There's so many niches, funeral homes, wedding planners, that you can create these snapshots for. Like you can pick a specific niche that's underserved, not a lot of competition, not a lot of YouTube video tutorials on how to market for them, right? Like transmission repair shops or funeral homes. You can pick any niche, specialize in that, and when you bring this snapshot over to them, like I did to transmission repair shops in these past couple months, people are biting. People are really interested. Oh, we have nothing like that. We're a transmission repair shop. We're literally just operating off papers and an Excel sheet and a pen. And like being able to come in and offer this snapshot, that's something they haven't seen before. But in some of these more competitive niches, like chiropractors, for example, I feel like there's so many people that offer snapshots to them and offer like go high level, like they've seen it all, is what I'm trying to say. Pick a niche that's underserved and bring this extremely valuable go high level solution to them, and these guys will be so happy. Even new businesses that started, like you can get lists of new businesses, new LLCs that were formed in the United States, and you can hit them up. All the funeral homes or transmission repair shops or even chiropractors, if you're want to go after chiropractors, right? Hey, what's up? I know you just opened up your location. I see you don't have a website. I see you don't have anything yet because you just formed the LLC and you got the location. I have this whole snapshot. I got a website for you ready to go. I got text automations. Can I be your guy? And that's what I tell these transmission repair shops, and they're like, dude, this is exactly what we need, and we didn't even think that we were going to get a solution like this for I've been offering these guys a free trial. I've been offering it to them at $500. Just varying offers depending on where they're at, and you guys will get more comfortable coming up with offers and pricing and quotes on the fly as you talk to more people. Like, don't be worried if you talk to 20 people and you don't make one sale, because the next 20 people you're going to make 5 to 6, and that's a really good income.
Appreciate you, Sam. All right, Luke, man, I'm gonna turn it back over to you. But yeah, appreciate hanging out with you guys. We'll spend more time on this subject, but I'm super glad Sam was here, and I'm also super glad Sam missed his flight, because I mean, he really does this. Like, again, you can learn from people that are really good teachers, or you can learn from people that are practitioners as well. And you know, I like to consider myself a practitioner, and Sam is basically a full-time practitioner. Like, Sam hasn't really done any courses. I mean, he's just been banging out $50,000 plus months with doing agency for the last 6 years consistently, and you know, got his start, you know, doing lead ads off of a course that we taught on, you know, Tai Lopez's SMMA back in the day, and then you know, kind of has grown into, you know, just a killer when it comes to this stuff. But again, it's you know, it just never surprised me. I'd be like, Sam, what are you at for the month? Oh, I'm at 60,000. Okay, what did you get your leads from this month? Email, cold email, and referrals, like every time. So it's like, again, you know, we have so much at our fingertips, but let's zero in. Like, let's do what Sam did, right? He took a 45-minute course and made 25 grand or 20, whatever the number is. So, you know, it's like zero in on that. It's like, yes, there's so much to learn. I love to learn. Luke loves to learn. Like, we'll sit here. I mean, we're all like, we wouldn't be in this industry if we didn't love the knowledge. But at the end of the day, it's like, what's the MVP? What's the minimum viable product? What's the minimum amount of these parts that we can put together? Luke's already done a huge amount of the work for you just on the snapshots he provided alone. And, you know, obviously you have all the support of High Level, you know, the team behind you. Like, you know, it's like the world is your oyster. Like, everything is there set up. It's like, okay, now how do you make the lowest number of moves to get checkmate, right? It's like, what's the least amount of moves you can make right now to get checkmate and to, you know, win this first round of the game, which like I said, the first round of the game should be getting to that number that completely buys your time back, you know, or, you know, the first step of the game is getting your first client, right? But the first real income goal is to, you know, create enough income that you buy your time back, where your time isn't owed, you know, at 40 hours a week or whatever it is. Okay. So hope you guys enjoyed that. Definitely tried to give you guys as much game as I could as far as all this stuff goes. I know Luke's going to dive into ChatGPT a little bit more, but appreciate you all. And I will see you guys next week. We'll dive in a little bit more.
Thanks, Tim. Thanks, Mike. I appreciate it. And if everyone said thanks in the chat as well, I know the boys always appreciate that. And Sam, apologize that you missed your flight, but hopefully it's for a reason. And I always look at, whenever that happens to me, I always say, if I was on that flight, like, something would have gone horribly wrong, whether it's someone vomiting next to me or worse. So there's a reason that it didn't happen today. Maybe it's to go hit a night on the town in Miami, Mike, with the golden poodle dog. So thank you guys, I appreciate it. Yeah. Now, and what I just had to
say bye to you guys.
Hey, what's up, guys? You know, it's crazy. I didn't actually miss the flight. I ordered the Uber to American Airlines, and for some reason, I got dropped off at American Airlines corporate office. So I was like, what the hell's going on? Turn the car around. We're going back to Mike's. See what's up with him. But I actually wanted to add one more thing, guys. This really, really helped me out when I was trying to build some like credibility talking to these different clients. They're like, who is this guy offering marketing, right? Because there's so many people that are going to offer marketing services. Can you guys see my screen?
No, I can share it back. Give me 1 sec. Let me go there. You should have a thing that should come up and tell you what screen you want to share.
Sweet. Let's just do the whole screen. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys how I got my Google certifications, my Bing certifications in less than 5 minutes. And when I was able to present these, especially starting out, hey, I'm actually Google certified. I literally picked up Fortune 500 contracts. I was in-house. This is really early, starting out. But I literally got Fortune 500 contracts by presenting these. You know, they were paying me $5K a month on a W-2, right? So it wasn't anything to brag about at the time. It was a lot for me though. So I just went to Fiverr, and I still do this every year. I renew my stuff. Google Ads certificate.
Wait, Sam, you showed me the certificate. I thought it was legit. You just got the certificate from Fiverr? Oh my goodness, Sam, you said it was from Google himself. You just been on Fiverr this whole time?
There you go.
Unbelievable.
So adding this to like certain companies ask for my resume. I mean, I don't know if I should be teaching this, but
It
I,
worked. I
No,
don't know if I should be teaching this, but it worked.
Mhm.
so going on Fiverr and finding one of these, which I just recently renewed, going on Google and finding one of these guys who will certify you on Google and Facebook. You can get it for Google Ads, Google Shopping, Google Display. You can get like from Google 9 certifications, which I leveraged a lot. Like I have 9 Google certifications. So my emails look a lot different than somebody else's because I say that. I have 9 Google certifications. Drop the link to Google Drive with all of them. And you can get Bing certified as well. I'm not sure why it's not coming up, but it comes up on my phone. Bing certificate, Bing certification. Pass Google. I'm gonna try and find this for you guys. Yeah, that's true.
It's often another one of these. Well, I swear it's the webinar curse. Whenever it's happened to Mark and I twice tonight, where we tried to share something, and then because it's on webinar, they just want to, whatever it is we're looking for, decided to go and hide.
Yeah, this is hilarious because I just had purchased these. You can get all your certifications for under $100. You pay like 75 bucks, and you freaking come through with 9 certifications from Google.
If you find the link, if you can't find it now, drop it to me, and I'll make sure everyone gets it.
And what this guy is doing, what this guy's gonna do is he's just gonna pass all the tests for you. All right, guys. So that's pretty much it.
Man, appreciate it. Again, Sam does this for a living. I mean, this is all he does is agency. I mean, so again, I love learning from teachers, but I definitely much prefer to learn from people who do this. And Sam's been doing this nonstop for 6 years. So if he's telling you something that works, he's saying it because it actually works, not because it sounds like it works, but because he's actually generating a lot of income with it.
See, this is so true, this video. How to make $99,000 plus per year with free Google certifications. They're free if you take them yourself, or you can get it done for 75 bucks. Of course, you know, it's up to you.
I'd rather pay the 70 bucks.
100%.
It's just like when it's just like when I taught everyone years ago how you like offer, like, you know, as seen on Fox and CNN and all these things where no one, and then it's some company that puts you on some 4 millionth page backend link, and then you can use your little thing in your footer, but it works, right? And it's just one of those things where it's like yes, you're on those pages under some guest post that's going to last about 6 months before it's removed, but everyone does it, and often the people that have these things in place get the business over those that don't.
I mean, think about the blue check mark back in the, I mean, obviously the blue check mark is different now because you can buy it, but think about how that was in the beginning. It was like a little blue check on your Instagram, and now all of a sudden, you know, it's the same psychology, right? It's like we can swim up the current or we can go with the current, and obviously we know that this stuff works. So, you know, and Sam, like I said, he's an on the ground kind of guy. Like, he's actually doesn't teach anything or make any of his revenue from teaching. He only does agency for the last 6 years. And like I said, if he's telling you something made him a lot of money, it's because he actually did it for real. But I appreciate you guys. We're going to jet. But thank you again, Luke, for having me. Appreciate being on with everybody. I don't know if you guys can hear this little whiny dog in the background, but I got to take him for a walk. And yeah, appreciate you guys a lot, and I will see y'all next week.
Yeah. And if you find this link, I'll drop it to everyone in the following when I send the replay out, because that's where the majority of people are going to be watching this anyway. So I'll put it around the video somewhere if we get that link.
Yeah, I'll make sure we get the link. Sam's going to look for it on his phone right now and send it to me, and I'll get it over to you.
Yeah, cool. All right, everyone, I'm just going to wrap this up, but I want to show you something about how you can get some leads pretty darn quickly right away. First thing I had on the screen here is when Sam was talking about, you know, choosing niches that aren't often thought about or service. I literally just typed into ChatGPT, what are 10 unique niches that have high income, yet most wouldn't think about marketing to, and that gave me a bunch of like random ones that I never would have thought about, like luxury pet and product services, high-end audio equipment, niche sports equipment, rare book and manuscript collecting, custom yacht and boat building. I actually had when I was doing local marketing, it was actually my top paying client. It was a boat manufacturer called Princess Yachts that build a lot of these mega yachts here in Australia, and they were a great client to have. So yeah, there's that. What I want to do quickly here, I wrote this just before saying, so just as an overview of things we've gone over today. Where did we start? Here, cold lead training. Oh yeah, so but basically a bit of homework and a summary of homework that I want you guys to do, and things that I'm going to do for you guys is the goal essentially is to go out and get some responses from cold leads to either an overview of their current status online. So creating, let me show you quickly here inside of this prospecting tab inside of Go High Level, it creates those really nice PDFs for actual local businesses, breaks down all the information, their online review scores, where things they can improve on. They do a really good like compliment sandwich or like insult sandwich, depending on how you want to look at it. But it'll say some good things, then some horrible things that they're doing that they need to improve, but then another couple of more good things, so they're not going to feel like you're fully going at them saying how horrible their online presence is. But you can offer that as a free lead general, a free lead magnet to get people to into your proper list, into your Go High Level before offering them the 30-day access to Go High Level. Or you could offer them free access to go high level for 30 days, right? But cold leads we covered today. D7 lead finder wasn't loading properly, so we will go over that next week. I'm about to give you a really quick way in wrapping this up on how you can use LinkedIn, Facebook, and Insta. I know a lot of you guys have some of my other products that help you with cold leads on Insta, but we can talk about that next week as well. We said, so get some leads with the methods I'm about to show you. Try to reach out to some using the BCC method. So that's just in Google. Let me just quickly pull this up quickly. I'm just going here to share this with you. Give me a sec. Here we got so when you send your email, that'll be who it's to. On the top right here, there's the BCC button, and you can then paste any other emails you get in here. Subject line, text. Now, in terms, if you're not confident on writing cold emails yet, I've put on the snapshot page down the bottom some YouTube links where I show you how to write cold emails from scratch and how to use ChatGPT to also write cold emails, going over these points that we kind of mentioned about at the start of the of today's training on how to thinking from a customer or a lead point of view. If you get a cold email, what subject line are you going to actually click to open if it's from a random name you don't know who it's from? And then what do you need to provide in the email to make people want to actually respond at all, right? But I want you guys to try that, do 50 in the next week, and then report back to me on on the response that you've got. This is a really cool tool that I just came out today that I sent an email out about maybe almost 12 hours ago now, but I'll send it to you again here. So it's called Prospector, and it does a lot more than what I'm about to show you, but this is one of the cool key features that I want to share with you guys. It has both a Facebook search and a LinkedIn search, which is new. So with a LinkedIn search, what it'll allow you to do is pull up LinkedIn, and then you can search, say I want to find a decision maker. So I want to find a dentist owner, right? And we want to go to people. It's going to show me a bunch of owners that are dentists, right? Now, this is the decision maker for this business. Maybe the marketing team or the marketing manager could also be a decision maker, but let's just go straight for the owners. And now with this tool, I can hit this little C button up here, and I can start going through, and it's going to go through every single one of these users. And you can see these pages are getting opened up here, and it's going to pull any relevant information of these leads directly into my prospecting tab. And I would just hit refresh here. I'm going to click out of these now for the minute though, because I don't want this to freeze my webinar. But you see how it's doing all the work for you. And these business owners, a lot of them will have, because it's LinkedIn, a professional network, they'll have their actual emails available there for you. So it will then also go in and start to break down. The more I hit refresh, it'll start to bring the leads in here individually. And I can also make different folders and whatnot. So I run for, if I want to add this person to the beauty salon one, I can. But basically, it's going to start going through hundreds and hundreds of leads for any niches, and it will then bring their emails in here for me to then contact those users. And this tool also allows you to email them one by one. It allows you, it's connected with ChatGPT using their API, so it'll even write cold emails for you in here. You can see, if I go back to the dashboard, it'll show us how many leads there are, how many we've contacted, anything that we've sold to these leads. It has a basic pipeline set up too. So this is a really good way to essentially just find the leads, but you can also then go ahead and download all the leads from inside here as well. So you can export them to your autoresponder, or to, if you want to just copy the list into the Gmail field, as well into the BCC and whatnot. Look, there's a whole product that just came out. So I'm not here to promote to try to oversell a product launch, but I want you guys to check it out because I think it's a really cool tool, and it's one of the only tools I've seen in some time that will give you cold lead emails, essentially a traffic source right out the gate from LinkedIn, which I really feel is an untapped niche, and it does this on a mass scale for you. So there's the front end product, which I put here. And again, this, I think it's like $37 for the front end product, but there are a bunch of upsells, and you know me, I get pissed off with upsells and giant long funnels and recurring and everything. So I said to them, look, give me a better deal, give me a bundle deal that I can offer my audience only, make it the cheapest that you'll get it anywhere, remove any of the recurring, just give me my audience the best deal possible. And I'm going to give you guys this link here where you can see all of the bonuses that they've given me as well, which are, again, they tie in perfectly with cold email marketing and just cold leads in general. But I'm going to hit this, I'm pasting it in the chat box now. And if you're watching this on the replay, it's on the page where you have your snapshots, which again, the new snapshot life coach is going to be here for you as well. But scroll down. If you decide to pick this up, you click on this link, it'll take you to the bundle page here. And then you can see all the different bonuses that you are going to get included as well. These are just basic bonuses that the vendors are providing to all affiliates, but I asked them to give me some exclusive ones that are just for you, which you won't get anywhere else. So again, I've then asked for even more money off for you guys. So if you use the code LukeVIP at the checkout, again, you can click on any of these links here. And I might even just send this link to you guys if you guys did want to get this right away, this bundle deal. You'll get it for over 70% off, which is a couple $100 savings. And use code LukeVIP at checkout. I think right now it's at $397, and then it gives you another $100 off as well. But watch this video, it goes into what it actually does in more depth. It uses AI to find cold leads and contacts them, writes the emails for you, does it all. Pretty cool deal. $397 one time, but if you click on here, saying where it says get the bundle, and then I'm just gonna put first name, last. Make sure here where it says coupon code Luke VIP, hit apply. That will take $100 off it, so it's $297. That's meant to expire within the next 24 hours. They said it was a Black Friday 24-hour thing, so go ahead and grab it. Again, they have an agency one up step here if you wanted to create unlimited agency accounts or client accounts, and you can then resell it for 100% commissions and whatnot. But in terms of what you're doing, like some of you might think you want this, but in terms of what we're doing to get licenses out to people for Go High Level, you're not going to need this upgrade. If you did want it in future, I can speak to the team about it. But I think this is just a killer deal. You get over 70% off what every other person gets. You can get unlimited leads from LinkedIn in any niche forever. You're paying no recurring. You get all those bonuses, and you can start to then export those leads instantly, or even contact them directly in the software that you'll get. And again, you're not going to be limited by credits or how many searches you can do, which everyone else is going to be as well. So really cool, unique tool there. What I've also done for you all is I've pasted down here these 2 YouTube video links that will give you for your VR, which go into cold email marketing with using AI and how to write cold emails in general. I think this is video 1 and then video 2. We do then go into the cold email autoresponder that I built, but again, that offer's been closed. I will look to open it next week though, for anyone that is interested. Again, just makes things so much easier. You can take all the leads you get, dump them into a system that's made for cold emails, and then that way you can keep your Go High Level autoresponder and sequences and everything purely set up for leads that have then come and opted in to get something. So then you can contact them on a long-term scale because they're added into a list the right way. But whereas with cold email, you only want to contact them once or twice. And if they haven't responded, just get rid of anyone that hasn't responded or opened your emails or shared it, that they show that they even cared, because they're not there to be spammed forever, right? There's always going to be new cold leads, and it's a numbers game for me when it comes to cold email marketing, in the sense that don't worry about the 50,000 leads you're about to delete. Worry about how you got 50,000 more that need to be contacted, right? So yeah, and it's always fun that way too. And as you'll see, it's when you start contacting that many people, even when you start contacting hundreds of people, it just makes it so it's so amazing that, because you'll see how many people start to just convert or to respond, and it gives you that confidence, and yeah, it'll work. It works really, really well like that. But in saying that, I will get this replay out next week. I'm really wanting to and I'll speak with Mike. I know we've gone over how big you can get with things in today's training, with offering other services and other marketing services. Next week though, we're going to bring it back really tie it cleanly into the, okay, we've got our offer of wanting to get people sign up to Go High Level. Go High Level sells itself. We want to then make 100% commissions on that after a 30-day trial. Now we've got the lead sources, okay, and then this is where I said my homework comes in. I'm going to write the emails for you for your cold email copy for both the above options, whether it's the Go High Level trial or their free appraisal. And then I'll get you guys access to the cold email autoresponder, and then I'll even create the opt-in pages as well for your trials and whatnot. And then we can start having an automated system go out. So that sounds good. I'll see you next week. I will send the replay out. Thank you, everyone. George, I'll get Sam's full name for you. Kerry, thank you. And thank you absolutely everyone else here on today's training and on the replay. I know it was a longer one today. Next week, I'll plan to keep it a bit more short and sweet for you all. But again, make sure to check this tool out that I sent here. I put it in the chat box as well, the link. It's worth checking out because, again, the prices are going up and I can't offer this deal forever because they're in their launch week. The early bird's on. Check it out. And again, there's a full refund guarantee as well. So if you pick it up, decide it's not for you, you can get your money back. No questions asked. It's really a risk not to give it a go. All right, guys, appreciate you all. I will see you next week. I'll be in touch before then, though. And now I need to go to my other house and find where I put my Christmas tree, because it's and my son's on school holidays, so I've got to go get the Christmas tree out, find the decorations, do hot laps back and forth. But hopefully it shouldn't be too hard. When I moved out of my last place, somehow I ended up buying 4 Christmas trees over the years, and then I found them all together. So I donated 3 of them. So I've only got 1 Christmas tree I need to find, which hopefully I think I know where it is. But knowing me and my ADHD, it could be, who knows? I could have sold it for all I know. But we'll find out. All right, guys, appreciate you all. Thanks, Jennifer. I will have fun decorating. All right, guys.